street on some days.
Why is it like that?
Because of perspective, vision. I mean, even over a flat surface, eventually the sky and ground will appear to meet. It's just perspective.
But 1 second before we continue, because before Indio cut him off, after Indio said, I experience a flat world, that kid was about to say, I go out and I experience a globe world. That's what he was about to say. And then he wants to say, oh, we can't see the whole world.
Basically, perspective.
Can you repeat it, please?
About perspective?
Yes.
Perspective says anything below the eyes appears to ramp upward, like the ground, like railroad tracks. That's perspective. Eventually, it meets the sky, which is above the level of the eyes, which appears to ramp down, and you get a horizon line, even over a flat plane. And eventually, that horizon line appears to obstruct what's beyond. It's just perspective over a flat plane. That's all. No globe needed. Just perspective.
There's no proof for that.
People show the proof of concept by showing.
We already showed it to you, dude. We showed you the laser measurements. They're actual measurements of the surface showing that the surface of the Earth is not curved. Okay, now you can go nuh-uh all you want. It doesn't matter. You can't change the fact that that was done.
Yeah,
and this is another fact you can't change, that you can go out yourself. You don't have to trust us. You can go out and do these tests yourself, right? Actually, in fact, don't trust us. We're all full of shit. We're a bunch of liars, right? So take your globe model, right? Go make a prediction. And as Roger said, go out to the ocean and make observations, do measurements, and test to see if this model is true. Because science, right, it's supposed to be testable, repeatable, verifiable. That's what differentiates science from all the other forms of knowledge, right? Is that it's supposed to be testable, repeatable, verifiable.
We should see 8 inches per
test,
mile.
repeat, and verify our tests. Go do your own test.
Yeah, you can
and
verify.
You're going to get the exact same results that everybody else has. But you're going to get the exact same results that everybody else has ever gotten that's gone and test this. That's why there isn't hundreds of Globers come in here every day. This server's been here for 5 years. We've never had a Glober come in here and said, hey, I went out and did an observation and fucking it matched the globe. It's never happened. They do what you do. Pictures from space. Shit you can't verify. Shit you can't test. Shit that is completely based upon trust of a complete stranger you don't know.
Of course you can test.
You can test. Okay, tell me how I test pictures from space. I want to test their authenticity, and I want to see if they represent the real world. How do I test that?
You can just go out the door and walk straight line until you reach your home again.
What? I walk in a straight line until I drown. Okay.
You can go a straight line. If you reach water,
imagine you already made this claim, and we already shot it down. We already told you. They already told you that it's never been done. That's never been verified. So you cannot just keep making these unverifiable claims. I want you to respond to what Indio said. Hold on.
He's circumnavigating his own claim.
That's ridiculous. Veer, I want you to respond to when you said we were imagining a flat Earth. Indio said to you, you're the one who has to use your imagination. You do not experience, you do not observe a globe. You've never done this circumnavigation that you claim. We've shown you how circumnavigation works in reality. You're the one making the outrageous imaginary claims here. Do you, in any way, shape, or form, are you able to be honest enough with yourself and us and see how your claims are the ones where you have to use your imagination, you have to trust your authority because you experience a flat and stationary Earth? That's what they're trying to get through to you here. You imagine this story about circumnavigation, which has not ever been done, as they explained it, or making the claim, back it up, or stop making it and concede the point. Do you understand what he was telling you about you're the one using the imagination? Can you comprehend that, Veer?
Last year, I've traveled to New York, and I've done that by plane. And
Okay, and
when
we
I'm
and
playing,
that is easily shown on a flat.
and I
That is
looked out the
easily
window,
Here.
and I
Okay,
saw
we can go on to your
the
next
Earth
claim. Let's just
curved.
take that claim right here.
I didn't
You
imagine
did
that.
not prove a globe by flying to New York. You can easily draw a line on a flat map. You have proven nothing. Okay, now go on to your
Yes.
window claim. Go on to your window claim.
No,
Your second claim.
What was that, Veer?
If I'm looking out the window at a plane, I can see that the Earth is curved.
You can
Oh,
see it through the
possible.
curved airplane window, yes, but the Earth is flat. So the counter to that, Veer Schultrig, is basically you're seeing through a curved airplane window, but the Earth itself is actually flat.
So I want to ask him a question. So if you listen, that never happened. You're lying, but that's okay, right? So if you did that, right, you looked out the left side of the plane window and you saw a curved horizon, and you go to the other window and you also see a curved horizon.
Check out
What shape it? What shape is that?
The
That's a
ball-
cylinder, dude.
What are you talking
cylinder.
about?
Well,
It's
it
a
becomes
cylinder.
a cylinder.
Okay, just
when it is
imagine.
flat.
Just imagine it is a
Right.
cylinder.
Listen, to see a globe, you're going to see a circle. You can't see an arc in the window. That's like two arcs, like the golden arches, McDonald's. If you look out a window and you see an arc, and you look out the other window and see an arc, you're on a cylinder, dude. That never happened, and it's not even predicted by the globe, because guess what?
If you look at the right, if you look at the right, the left, the front, and the back, you will see a circle. Because the Earth is a globe.
No,
I think if you just repeat it enough times, it'll come true, Dorothy. Click those ruby slippers together.
It takes time. It takes time to break the conditioning. Look, the flat plane appears to rise and accompany the level of the eyes. The only shape that does that is a flat surface like a table. The table is flat. You look out over it, it appears to rise toward the level of the eye, similar to how the Earth does. A ball would drop away immediately. This is not logically consistent to say that it's a ball when we don't see a curve to the horizon and we don't see it dropping away immediately.
If you go to the North Pole,
I'm sorry.
and you do your laser test.
Hold on, Ver, can you hear me speaking? I think I'm speaking like
Yeah,
pretty clearly.
But I tried to cut you off because I want to answer.
At least you acknowledge that you're trying to
No,
cut
you're
me
trying
off.
to gish gallop to another topic because you got busted in your lie about seeing curve out of
I wanted to answer you.
Okay, hold on, Veer. All right? Go ahead and respond to that. That would be great. When you're done, then California Nightmare is something he wants to say. I am a moderator here and was moderating during the 2 seconds of silence that occurred. Then when I started talking, you decided to start to talk over me. If you don't understand the concept, feel free to rewind the live stream and listen to it later so you can see how you talked over the lady. All right? I was trying to moderate. If you'd like to become a moderator here.
Did you listen?
First, learn the facts of the flat Earth. You're going to make me have to mute. He's talking over me again. You were going to make me have to mute you just to finish my point? Oh, someone did it for me. Thanks. Anywho, there's the live stream. You can review that, and then you can give me the timestamp where you think I was inappropriate in speaking 2 seconds before your thought and not using my ESP to figure out you wanted to talk over me before I even started talking. And when you interrupted me twice, all right? So you don't get to complain about the moderation here. If you want to be a moderator, first get your head in the game, figure out the reality of where you live, start using objective measurements, start learning about what science really is, stop making claims you can't back up and living in your fairy tale world. Nonetheless, you get a minute or less to respond to what Indio said, and then California Nightmare has something to contribute. Thank you.
Where's the live stream?
Put the link in the live stream voice text at 3 minutes after the hour. You're welcome to check the live stream later. What was your response to what Indio said? He might need a review. I'm sorry, Indio, because first he needed a manners lesson before we could even get to the content. What is it that you said, Indio, that he's responding to?
Well, listen, he never saw curvature from an airplane. That's the whole point, right? It's not predicted by your globe. If the Earth is a globe of 3,959-mile radius, an airplane is nowhere near high enough. This isn't my opinion. This is straight mathematics and geometry, right? So if I had a ball that's 6 feet tall, an airplane would be 1/100th of an inch above it. There's no way you could see curvature from that distance above the ball. You see, this is the thing. Like, I explained it to you. You guys don't know your own model, so you make ridiculous claims. But we do know the model, the globe model. And as soon as you say something that doesn't match your model, we laser in on that. Because it's not a prediction of your model. Your model predicts that there is no curve. Now, are you a tiny earther? Are you claiming that the Earth has a smaller radius? Is that it? Because it's really weird that earlier you said that it's not measurable, but now you can see it from an airplane. Like, which one is it? Can we measure it? Can we not measure it? Do we see it? Do we not see it? This should give you a clue, the weakness of the globe model. Is that you have to make claims that contradict each other even to maintain some semblance of rationality.
I never said that you can't see it. If the Earth is the size we've looked up earlier, then it is able to see the curvature from the height of a plane.
That's not a prediction of the model.
And I just want to respond to, who was it?
Hello?
Here, Mary.
Do you want a citation with the mathematics that shows that what you're saying is unequivocally false? But no, I want you to listen. I'm going to give you a citation with the mathematics that shows your claim is false.
You're trying to cut me up right now.
No, I'm trying to correct your false claim and not just let it slide through.
You are just crying. Bro,
he's asking you for a citation. You're trying to go back to something else that you think will be easier. You're trying to squirm out from what he's asking you. Respond to his question.
No, I'm going back because I couldn't answer to you because he was speaking. I was waiting.
You didn't answer. You said no.
I couldn't answer.
Okay, I'm going to give you a chance. Put some substance to your claim, right? You said, yes, you can see it from a plane. Now give us the math, geometry, or whatever to support what you said.
You don't need any geometry.
No. So the Earth as a ball is not a geometric claim. It's a claim of feelings.
If you just look at the ocean, you are able to see the curvature.
How are we seeing curvature?
So we are on a tiny Earth, like the Little Prince.
We see a flat horizon that rises up to accompany the observer. We don't see curvature that falls down and away from the observer immediately. So we're not seeing what you're talking about. What you're talking about appears to be an inconsistent interpretation, Veer.
Veer, so listen, Veer, Google.
Hold on.
Visually discerning the curvature of the Earth. Okay, Google that. It's a published paper in Optics Express. So it's published by the Optical Society of America. So what do you think they deal with? Seeing shit, right? It's written by a guy named David Lynch. It says you cannot see curvature of the Earth from an airplane. Okay? And all the math is in it and everything else. The Earth is too large to see curvature from an airplane, according to the dimensions they give us. There's no way around this. No matter how many times you repeat, yes, you can. Listen, you can't. I gave you a citation. Go look it up. You don't have to trust me. This guy isn't a flat earther. He's a globe earther, and he says it.
Well, Veer,
Tyson said you can't see curvature from 128,000 feet. Paul Larson, who's a planetarium director, said you can't see curvature from 250 miles or 400 kilometers. So, this isn't us. These are globe earthers that say this shit, not us.
Well, Veer, the problem is the horizon accompanies the observer.
Sorry, Lon, go ahead.
The horizon accompanies the observer and goes with the observer as they go up, more or less. That's only consistent with a flat surface, not a ball.
California Nightmare, what is it you were going to say?
Yeah, this trying to go to his last point about going into a straight line. I just wanted to say that balls can't have straight lines. So his point falls flat on its face when he first said it. So he wasted all that time basically for nothing.
Love it.
I just wanted to say that.
Well, definitionally, a straight line for them is going along the surface with as little deviation along the supposed curved surface as much as possible and counting that as a straight line. It's a slight tweak on the definition. But like you
they
say,
don't get to
technically they would
redefine
be
it.
doing.
No, they don't get to redefine what a straight line is. A straight line in geometry has a fixed definition. California's Nightmare is correct. Veer, you lost before you even got off the starting line. What's your response to what California Nightmare said, Veer?
Do you have noticed how do you need several people to argue against me?
We
Or
are.
like-
Isn't that funny with the settled side? Isn't that funny, Veer?
Just hold
Mark's
on.
gonna back
Let
you up.
me
Let
talk
just finish
just
what I was
for
gonna
a
say
moment.
first. Seriously, is there a problem here? You guys don't want to hear me talk? Like every time I talk, two people talk over me. Seriously.
Yeah, because you're talking
I'm
over
leaving
me.
in like 2 minutes, so don't worry about it. Right, Veer?
I don't know.
All I want to say is, isn't that funny how settled science of the globe, that's supposedly the majority opinion, you come here, you can't defend it, you got no science, you got no math, you got nothing but stories, and we can easily go back against everything you say because you have no citations. You've been asked for citations, which you refuse to provide. You're used to, yes, you're using the fallacy of an appeal to the majority. That's perfectly fine. You're using the fallacy, whatever that one was where he's pretending he's the victim here. I don't know what that, I'm sure that must be some kind of fallacy. But nonetheless, if your globe was so certain, it shouldn't be that hard. You're having a lot of trouble here. It should be easy for you to go 1 against 10 flat earthers if your globe was real. But it's not, Veer. It's not.
I just want to give
Meadowlark
Veer
wants
some
to
time.
sympathize with you. Go ahead, Meadowlark. I got to go, guys, but good conversation. I'll listen to the rest of it in the car while I'm on YouTube. Keep up the good work. And Veer, hopefully you'll decide to join reality one day.
Thank you, Mary Mom. I just didn't want to be a dog pile. It can be pretty aggressive in these chats, making it hard for one person versus 5 flatties. Veer, did you want to get a word in edgewise before we dogpile again?
It's not possible to argue against you. That's not because I'm wrong. That's because of you are like 10 people just yelling around and muting me if I want to say something. That's why you can't argue. Yeah, that's why I can't argue against you. But that will never change the fact that your theory is just bullshit. You have no argument for that. Your only argument, you told me, is the laser test. And there is no proof that laser test was ever done like it was described. Again, if the laser and the target are not at the same height, it's nonsense. It's like you never have done it yourself, or you've never done it yourself at that size. You have to do it to prove that the Earth is flat. If you really want to prove that the Earth is flat, you have to do it over the 40,000 kilometer range the Earth is wide. Then you can prove that
you're basically saying shoot a laser for the whole diameter of the Earth of 40, or the whole circumference rather of the Earth of 40,000 miles. I guess we'd have to have a powerful enough laser to reach that far. But as far as we can tell,
then you can never prove your theory.
Well, we can infer the theory pretty comfortably based off of the short-term laser test that we have done. The FE core laser test, which is in the chat, it's 25 miles. At that distance of 25 miles, you should have 25 miles squared, 625 times 8 inches of curvature down and away from some.
Yes, you've told me that before.
Yeah, so that equates to about 400
by yourself, you told me that it's not able to do a laser test. It would really prove that the Earth is flat.
Let me add to this.
That's not our only piece of evidence. Listen, that's not our only.
I will leave now.
You made a shitload of. Of course, you're gonna make a bunch of baseless bullshit claims in jet. That's what all you guys do. Right after you complain about how you can't do anything, you provided zero evidence for anything. And if you want other evidence. So we didn't use, it wasn't a laser, but it was radio waves, broadcast 10,000 miles. How did they do that? Before satellites in 1918. How did they do that?
Radio waves do not travel in a straight line. They do not travel in a straight line.
They don't. They don't. So that type of electromagnetic radiation doesn't travel in a straight line.
Reconsider your arguments. All your arguments you brought are
Yeah,
just like dog shit. There's no single argument that you can really trust. You've said by yourself. You said by yourself that laser test isn't possible. Isn't possible, and
No,
that,
no.
that you can prove that
Hey,
the Earth is
I
flat.
think you should say nuh-uh. Dude, your reputation amounts to nuh-uh.
Wait,
So let me. One second.
India.
So
Wait.
can I?
Oh,
Fucking
wait. Are we
child, dude.
both
I just
about
want
to?
to add.
If it's
add
not
some-
about the radio waves, let me go first.
It was
please.
about the laser, but go ahead.
He's
So
not
you
here.
said radio waves don't travel in straight line?
That's what the dude said. He said they don't travel in straight lines.
The guy left.
Well, if you look in chat, well, he left, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Well, he decided that like he was just going to try and shit all over the place, make a bunch of basic claims, cast aspersions on us, and dip out of here. And I'm not going to let that happen, dude. That's some bitch. That's a bitch move, dude.
And he claimed that
not to offend any bitches that are in here, but
he claimed that the elevation of the shore of the IJsselmeer is 100 meters high, which is ridiculous. I live there; it's not 100 meters high. So that's just. He lives next to the Netherlands. I bet he went on vacation in the Netherlands. He must know this. Just
he claimed
lying.
the water on one side is 100 meters higher than the water on the other side. Flowing, and it just sticks there like sideways at a 45-degree angle, right? The water's just sticking there. That was insanity, dude. That is like a cult believer. Like if you want a crazy cult believer, that's a perfect example of it.
Aren't there procedures for dealing with actual crazy people?
Yeah, Thorazine straitjacket, things like that. But they don't know how to administer that over the internet.
Yeah.
Gag him.
Dude, but that's why I tried to I wanted to consolidate his claims because he said so many ridiculous claims. I didn't want them to be dispersed through the whole conversation.
I was just going to recap because I asked the gentleman for
you recap right now, dude. Recap that whole fucking scenario, man. Every claim he made, dude. Just recap.
Here we go. Let's see. It was about at 24 minutes after the last hour that I put in something into voice text. That was about the time this guy, I asked him for a curvature measurement. And we got, so a recap is, we got no measurement of curvature from the gentleman. All I heard was, what if you did this? Why, why are you flat earthers? I don't know, man. There was nothing provided. So in a court of law, it's ruled out. Nothing was provided from the defendant. The prosecution, flat earth, rules over that nonsense. There's nothing there. I'm sorry, ruled out. No evidence was provided. So that is the recap. Stay tuned for any updates. Anybody else have a curvature measurement? That's what we're looking for. Please do inquire in the VC check-in.
You never got past point 1 of the 3 points.
Never even got past it.
That's so pretty nutty.
He had a hard time being honest with himself, even saying, I don't know. He couldn't say that even.
Yeah.
Constant diversion into something else, not asked. One logical fallacy after another. Just how you can't even count them. You'd have to do an equation for how many fallacies per minute or something.
Yeah, guys, but it's not fair. Guys, trust me, please.
Wait a minute.
It's totally not fair to expect him to measure curvature when the closest lake he has is sloped.
Yeah.
I feel like every time we let someone commit logical fallacies for the sake of having a conversation is damaging.
Yeah.
Because if the first person who said water is level responded to the person that said level just means level around the curved Earth. Like if that very first person would have went, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go on about my day. Earth's definitely
His
flat.
problem
Like
wasn't logical
we wouldn't be
fallacies.
here.
I don't think his problem was logical fallacies. That wasn't his biggest problem. His biggest problem was every claim he made, he provided absolutely no evidence for, and some of the claims he made contradicted previous claim he made, and some of them were just nonsensical, like the slope lake.
Yeah, that's true.
He had
Because
what I would call
he said going you can see the Earth curve from a plane, but he's talking about the horizon being the curve of the Earth. That's ultimately what he's saying. But he doesn't have any actual geometric. He doesn't understand how that was blown out of the water by the laser test, by the black swan, by everything we were trying to tell him. He's
He
like, well, you
claimed
can't
all of Earth
measure
is
it.
not even a geometric claim. That's how far gone he was.
You can't.
I don't know what kind of claim it is. When you say something's a sphere, dude, and the sphere's a geometric figure.
He's fired
That's a
away.
geometric claim, man. That's craziness.
What a treat. What a treat.
Und Globe nackt flat is what he said. Yeah, it's fucking flat.
Und
Yeah,
sie
Earth is
glaubt
flat.
noch nicht flatten.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
I didn't want
all
to
the
interrupt
time.
Mary Mom. I just didn't want us to dogpile another, too far gone Glober. I wanted them to get out their
Yeah.
piece and have at least somewhat of a two-way communication before the dogpile. That's
Well,
all.
he spent all of the time evading any of the questions to another evasion. There's like an evasion expert.
In his defense, next to the Dutch people, German people are pretty cocked. So they will just believe
Clement, I
anything
understand your
government.
sentiment, but he wasn't going to be honest. So like, it's like, how do you have a two-way conversation with someone that's actively lying to you, and while they're lying to you, is basically slandering you, making baseless claims? I mean, it's like, you just don't associate with people like that. That's just how I feel. Like, people, like, someone tries to abuse me, I'm going to abuse them back.
You just try to keep it calm. That way people don't get frustrated. I mean, one zealous Glober against 5, zealous flatties. It can be tough.
Well, I don't think we're in some sort of equivalent position because, we're providing evidence. He's not. Plus, we're not saying, things about him like, there's 5 against 1, and I would have gave my evidence if there wasn't 5 of you. Like, how does 5 people stop you from like posting some evidence?
Right.
Like, I don't. It's just like all this smoke and mirrors and sophistry, silliness. It's like almost like, I mean, of course we're going to put up with it, but doesn't mean I have to like it.
I see them as like, I mean, it's almost infuriating because they think they're doing the same thing we're doing. Like they're trying to pretend like they're like us. Because like, for example, you go over to Jim Candy and somebody will ask you something like, "Are you gay?" Okay, hold on. Does your mother know you're gay? Answer the question. Answer the question. And see, he's not answering the question. That's what they all do. Like, that's the same as us stopping Globers from answering questions that we didn't ask or not giving a direct response to the questions that we asked that are very short and concise and clear.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the same thing as asking somebody when did you stop beating your wife? There's no way to answer that.
But when we say, what's the horizon doing all the way over there? It's because it's tied to the claim, not ours, the claim that the horizon is geometrically, aka measurably at the distance that the formula dictates. That's it. And I mean, Jesus Christ, we're talking about 1 mile. All this hooky dookie shit that they're talking about happening beyond 1 mile, I don't know what that has to do with whether or not there's obstruction there at 1 mile or not. There's not. That's the end of this. I just don't understand.
Well, so the funny thing is he thought that we're making claims. No, like we're telling you the globe claims, and we're telling you why the globe claim does not match reality. These aren't our claims. Like you can't see curvature from an airplane. That's not our claim. That's their claim, right? He thinks that we're telling him like when we say, "Oh, there's this much curvature in so many miles," like we're making that up. No, we're taking their model. We're past it, and then we're saying this is what they said is going on, and it's not going on. It's not our claim; it's their claim. But he was just thinking that like all these claims are just like flat earther claims. Flat earthers are just saying this stuff. No, this is globe claims. We're testing them, and they don't add up.
Well, I try to play nice with the Globers and let them provide context as necessary. Because, like with the loaded question, when did you stop beating your wife? And they're like, answer me. If you say, yes or no, there's additional context that's needed. First of all, you might not have been beating your wife in the first place. You might not even be married. And so sometimes additional context is sometimes necessary to answer a question properly, especially if the Globers feel that it's front loaded with other stuff that they want to unpack. As long as they don't bullshit too much. I mean, just let the Glober, speak, past the dog pile and offer context as needed if they wish, at least up to a point anyway.
Well, I mean, it started off that way, Lemon. It started off like normal, but then like he just kept digging his hole, man. And you know how it goes. Just like I don't know.
Well, just to answer that question, how do you answer the question, when did you stop beating your wife? There is actually a correct answer to that. Sort of. And you just say, well, the same day you did. Because then at any point that they want to accuse you of that thing, they're also implicating themselves. So then their only option is to drop it.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
How do you like the analogy I provided about clean shaven?
Yeah, I thought it was good. I don't think he got it, but I
Yeah.
think that the analogy itself was good.
Yeah, it's about that 0.3%, and I that's an analogy that I think is appropriate, but I don't. There's got to be plenty of other analogies you could provide for somebody as to why that's profoundly disingenuous to say oblate spheroid, but yet that's what you see on every science.com article over and over again, oblate, and it's and every now and then you'll hear them ever so slightly oblate spheroid, but again, oblate is disingenuous because it paints the wrong picture. It's
Sorry.
They use it. My point is they use the oblateness as a foundational aspect of their argument because it's oblate, fill in the blank. And that's, it's retarded. It's retarded.
I see what you're saying. Like they want to have their cake and eat it too. But actually, this is why I asked him, how much curvature would you expect then? Because you're saying that it's, different, whatever. You tell me what the curvature should be. And he said none. He said you would expect to see no curvature over the lake.
None, yeah. That was his answer.
And the oblateness doesn't matter because he's now admitting that it's not curving anyway. So he doesn't realise that, but he has admitted that it's flat.
Why is there an Urdu?
all you gotta do is Google like images of lakes. Like they're all flat.
Well, then I guess the follow-up question is: so how many flat spots are there on this Earth?
Well, underwater, there the abyssal plains, 1/3 of the underwater surface. Oh, I'm sorry, 70% of the underwater surface, and then on land, 1/3 of the land um, is also made up of plains, where you have a very, very low elevation change or runoff. So it's mostly flat, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that they even call it a flattened ellipsoid, then they not only a geoid or a spheroid, they call it a flattened ellipsoid.
Mm.
And then when you ask them flattened, is that like it's flat? No, not flat, man. Come on. We're just flattening the poles, the top and the bottom. Why not?
Right.
I can't, man.
But we didn't check the poles. We check only in the middle.
Well, today, exactly like Elijah was saying, it's if you go into a gym server thing, then they start asking you questions like, how often do you beat your wife? And then, come on, answer. You haven't answered because you obviously beat your wife. And then they go running off on that tangent. Today, they were trying to assert that the word celestial pole that we see in the sky is the proof that we have poles on the earth. And I said to them, by having the name celestial pole, but there's no correlation between the ground, we're just looking up at the stars and asserting this is the north celestial pole and this is the south celestial pole. That's just an assertion. That's like saying tyrannical patriarchy. You've already assumed that all patriarchy is tyrannical in the name, without any proof of showing that patriarchy is tyrannical. You've just assumed it is by putting it in the name. So putting South Celestial Pole in the name without proving that there is actually a pole on the earth, that the earth is spinning around that pole. Until you've proved that there's the pole, you can't call it a South Celestial Pole.
It's imagined out of necessity for the model. They think of the ball as explaining why we can't see past the horizon without a hump of Earth curve in the way, and say that, there has to be a pole there. There has to be. But have they really proved it by going to the South Pole? As far as I can tell, no, they haven't shown curvature for a pole. They haven't shown a pole sticking up out of the earth. It's just an idealized abstraction, basically, beyond that level to try to explain a group of observations.
Yeah, precisely. But they couldn't even understand the fact that simply calling it something like atmosphere, air in a sphere, air doesn't conform to a sphere. Air fills the available volume. So using the word atmosphere, you can shout it till you're blue in your face, doesn't make air forming a sphere real. But they don't think about it literally like this. They don't think about the words that are actually coming out their mouths. When they talk about within the Earth system, what are we within? Or are we on the exterior of? No, we're within the Earth system. How are we within something unless we're contained? No, you take things too literally. Containment doesn't mean containment. When you say within,
He cut out.
Mm.
Containment
did I cut out?
Containment doesn't mean then you cut out for me anyway.
Yeah, containment doesn't mean container. And they're saying within doesn't mean inside. So when you're saying within the Earth system, because they say the air and the atmosphere and everything behaves this way within the Earth system. And I say, but we're not within anything. We're on the exterior of something, hurtling through space. There's no
Well, it
within.
has to be literal enough. It has to be
Wrong.
literal enough. Because when they rob words of meaning like that, they rob us of the ability to explore by experimentation or whatever, whether it's the case or not. So if they don't mean literally that it's, flat or whatever, then what do they mean? What discoverable thing will I find when I look for quote unquote level? or look for quote unquote the curvature of the earth, what am I going to find exactly? What do you mean by this quote unquote literal statement? Is this an allegory, or is this something that I can discover or not?
Guys, y'all got it all wrong. We are in a container. The universe is the container.
Nice.
Oh,
That's
so we should have
why
been.
we can have gas pressure, because the Earth is in the universe, and the universe contains the gas.
So we should describe it as within the universe system, and no longer the Earth system.
You know what though? I know that you're making a facetious argument, but that actually doesn't work anyway. Because if that was the case, then we wouldn't observe, for instance, a vacuum chamber on Earth being repopulated with gas. Because you could just say, well, the air is contained inside the universe. So there's no reason for it to fill that space.
If it's a container like a wall with a barrier, normally a container says you can go up to this point but no further. If you're talking about like a glass container or a container that stops the progress of something else sort of container. But if they're trying to say, oh, it's, this allegorical container and that, it's inside of this other thing that has little to no boundary, that's a different sense of the word.
You just have to put a black hole inside of the vacuum container, guys.
Oh, man. I kind of saw where I was going. Dadgummit. I was going to say, your argument is moot, because we're talking about containers within the contained system already. So I'm trying to think like
you're still manning. You're doing the Stillman argument. It's one of my favorite psychological exercises.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like a science communicator. What horrifyingly idiotic statement can I think of that makes sense in some sort of Star Trekian way?
Yeah,
they always seem to surprise me. No matter how I apply my brain thinking I've got them this time, they always bring it to a new level.
The rule is just make your argument enough where a Trekkie can understand it, and you've got them. You've got everybody.
Yeah, you've got to bring the Calithium crystals, Scotty.
Well, it's like when they describe the expansion of the universe and how there's no new matter. What they do is they describe it like a balloon with dots on the outside of the balloon. And even though it's getting bigger and it's not getting any matter added to it in the form of like the membrane, everything is getting farther and farther apart as it expands. And so they figure out these real dumb, easy way of explaining things that are literally impossible, that aren't analogous to reality, because reality is not a balloon with a membrane on the outside.
Anybody want to talk to New World Order in the BC here?
No.
Jim took it to a whole new level today, where he was saying, us flat earthers, the only demonstration that we've ever shown for star trails and how we can have those counter-rotating star trails is by placing a domed lens over solid rings. And then those rings show how we can create two counter-rotating rings. But he said, what we flat earthers don't understand is that stars are actually dots and they're not lines. So therefore, any demonstration where we've ever shown a sheet of lines and put a dome over it to show how it creates two counter-rotating rings, he said, we're being disingenuous by using a line.
Are star trails dots?
Yeah, that's what I said to him. The star trail is made up of dots, many, many dots side by side until they form a line.
That it's not a dot, that it is a line, because it is not a genuine picture. It's the trail of a star, which means it is a line. So he's factually wrong, but that's probably because he's low IQ.
Gospel, can you repeat?
But, to be arguing with someone about whether the star is a dot or a line it just shows you how they disingenuously.
Mic check.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
We got you, Elijah. Gospel, were you saying something?
I was just saying that NWO, New World Order, is in the BC.
Yeah, I forgot. Sorry, I have the attention span of a mosquito or a goldfish.
That's okay.
Yeah. Is he in the chat now?
Yeah, it's not verified. I'm just going to unmute him for kicks and giggles, though. There you go. Say hello to everybody. New World Order.
Oh, yeah, it's Hawkeye. But yeah, how you guys doing?
Hello, NWO.
Hawkeye's cool, bro. Hawkeye's
We're
cool.
face to face with the New World Order.
Yeah, you're focusing on the wrong part of the name, man. It's just Hawkeye, bro. Hawkeye.
It's Hawkeye, you motherfuckers.
Thank you for granting me permission to speak. I appreciate it.
So where have you joined us from, Hawkeye?
I
Marvel
was
Universe,
in
obviously.
VC yesterday, and I met someone named Flat Earth Goddess who was doing a live stream, and everybody was muted, kind of like this, but only one person. It was her, and people could chime in and ask questions on Reddit and whatnot. And I joined her, and I was actually not someone in there asking questions, but giving good information. And she led me here because she thinks I'm worthy to talk to you people. So here I am. Like-minded individuals. High IQ individuals
Welcome.
is my thing. Thank you.
Well, welcome, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Eli.
No, that's what I said. I just said welcome.
So on the subject of like waking people up to this and getting them to ask questions or look into it and break their little cognitive dissonance and their weird thing that they have going on when they can't accept this information. I like to always go with the whole, boat going over the horizon because that's their main point of evidence, showing the curvature and just showing that you can go to the coast, have that kind of scenario, and then just zoom in with a high power zoom or a telescope, and you will see that thing come back into perspective. And they'll try to use atmospheric
Not
refraction
always.
as well. Most of the time, and if they use the argument for when that's showing that 8 inches per mile square is false, that they bring up atmospheric refraction. So I was kind of curious what you guys thought about atmospheric refraction.
Well, first thing, the first thing that you said, I don't know if you're justified to say most of the time, but definitely there are times when the water is obstructing what's behind it, and you can't zoom in for the life of you to see what's beyond that. There's actual obstruction, right?
Like waves.
Because the waves.
Not necessarily because of the waves. I would say it's more to do with the fact that you have a bunch of vapor, and vapor is less dense than the air above it, so the
That's
light
not water.
is refracting upwards. Yeah,
water anymore.
the light is refracting upwards. The light reflecting from that water is going superior into your eye, causing a towering.
The bottom line is it's never due. The bottom line is it's never a geometric horizon, regardless of what it is. And the geometric horizon is the only thing that is proper context for the conversation. So if it's not that, kind of doesn't matter what it is.
Plus, there's no such thing as atmospheric refraction because that's not an optical formula. Chill out, Freya.
It matters to be accurate.
Argument to it, so I was just curious what you.
Yeah.
But that's
why
in terms of Snell's law.
It's a
But
mathematical
Mimas,
change.
but Mimas, in Snell's law, we do actually factor in the variables, temperature, barometrics, all of that. But in terms of terrestrial refraction,
doesn't know, so it doesn't matter because Snell's law is irrelevant to atmospheric refraction. Atmospheric refraction is wholly a mathematical function. It's a formula, and it has to do with radius. It has nothing to do with like how light interacts when it changes medium.
No, you're talking about terrestrial refraction using 7/6R.
Yeah, that's atmospheric refraction.
No, it's not atmospheric refraction. Any refraction in the atmosphere is atmospheric refraction. Any mirage is atmospheric refraction. It's something that's actually observable.
No, it's not.
First of all, it's a misnomer, and it's only defined in the worldview that the Earth is a sphere. So if that's what you're going with, that's fine. But what I said was absolute. It's never because of a geometric horizon, as also defined within the paradigm.
Okay, so on that, I was wondering, since if you're too low to the ground and sea level and the waves and the mist and all that stuff can interfere, so I was thinking, okay, go to a higher point, like the top of a building that you know the height of, and then you can still like look at Google Maps and see, okay, we're going to look over here. That's this many miles away. That means this should be this many feet below sea level. I should not be able to see this. And then you go and you use some sort of thing and you will be able to see it. So it's showing that there's not like a definitive curve.
In some instances, yes. But what they were trying to say is that there are instances where the answer can also be no. The shortest explanation would be if you go into the ocean, there's a visibility. You can only see so far in the water. It doesn't matter if you zoom or anything. Your visibility will eventually be occluded by water. And we have water in the atmosphere,
Hold on a
which
second.
means at some point
Hold on a
there
second.
will
Hold
be
on a second.
obstruction.
Hold on a second. I got to make a correction because, yes, atmospheric refraction does include radius. It does include radius. It's not 7/6R, but you have to use radius for atmospheric refraction. It's a mathematical formula involving radius.
All
Pretty
of
sure you mean
of this
terrestrial
is
refraction. In the end, it doesn't matter. The point is, you can still observe refraction, the refractive
You
effect.
can't observe refraction.
Well, guess what?
I don't need
Well,
that
guess
to
what?
see
All
a
of
mirage.
You're
guess what?
Guys,
you're observing
Guess
is the
what?
same thing you observe
We've
on a
got a
table.
new
When you
guest.
get low on it, you can see everything become homogeneous because it becomes beyond an angle of resolution. That's all that's
I don't know
happening.
what you're arguing, man.
Guess
if you're in the
yo,
car and you see
hold
an
on,
infinity
hold on,
mirage,
hold on.
Homogeneous and
I'm
turning
about to
into a
start
mirror,
muting.
you are
I'm
seeing a
about to start
reflection.
muting because
See,
I
above
mean you're feeding the guy that I don't like. It's a
I know.
big
I don't
ass
like it either.
it's a big ass non sequitur, and let me
Elijah,
tell you why.
that's why I'm doing it.
it's not a non sequitur. We're trying to be
No,
honest
So
here.
no.
We're trying to be precise.
Let me tell
And
you
Elijah,
why.
you don't
Let
have
me
to
tell
like
you
make
why
it
it's a
personal.
non.
You're
Okay,
so
I'm gonna
weird.
mute you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll be weird in silence.
Right.
I didn't like him validating retarded nonsense.
No, the retarded
because
nonsense
you
is
can
to
get
deny atmospheric refraction.
you can get mirages on a flat
But can
table.
I
Now,
can I just
how do you get
explain
mirages
how
on a flat
all
table?
of this is a non sequitur? I don't like talking about this. We delve into it and get into a talk for an hour about something that's completely non sequitur as admitted by the Globers. So when we ask for the obstruction that's geometrically, aka measured to be 1 mile based on the geometric shape that we live on, and they tell us we're at some other point from some other location, automatically their claim about the geometric horizon is out the window. They're no longer talking about it at all. When they're talking about atmospheric refraction, they're talking about that in the context of what you disregard. Well, irregardless is not a word. Regardless of there being a geometric horizon, as a matter of fact, we're only talking about it because there is no geometric horizon. Well, talking about atmospheric refraction just talks about how you could see something from a further distance. But what happens to the geometric horizon in question that's supposed to be at 1 mile? So talking about atmospheric refraction is always going to be a non sequitur to that because nobody actually links the geometric horizon to the apparent horizon. It's not like it's a projection of the geometric horizon. No,
My point
you
is
don't see that one at all.
atmospheric
Can I
refraction
get-
is not even real. That's always my point.
Can
It's
I
It's a
not
get-
made
real.
up ad hoc argument. Completely
That's
yeah,
true.
so I was just hoping to actually hear from the new guy a little bit more. We can hash and rehash these arguments if you guys want, but it's kind of nice to get the new guy maybe to say a bit more. Maybe he can explore some more of his ideas. Maybe we can delve into something that he's not sure about. You know, maybe we can do something like that while he's here. What does everyone think?
Good idea.
Yay.
So,
Go ahead,
new old
Hawkeye.
order. Do you have any questions, suggestions? Do you? Yeah, the floor is yours. Or not? I mean, it's up to you. Is he still here or?
Yeah, he's still here.
Okay. Dude, do you want to talk or?
He might have left the room during the interchange of gridlock conversation.
Yeah, fair enough.
Traffic jam.
That was amazing. Sorry about that.
Oh,
I feel
he's
like that was my fault for mentioning atmospheric refraction.
don't blame yourself. It's okay. So,
just
did
like
you hear what Crypto told?
It's just.
I heard
Sorry.
it all. It's just like I like to When it comes to everything, I like to look at everything. Like there was a time when I looked at flat Earth and I maybe was leaning more towards maybe it's real, maybe it's not, and then I learned more shit, and I realized okay, I was ignorant, I didn't know, and then I learned more stuff, and then I can change my opinion, I can change my beliefs, and I don't get hung up and stuck on something. And like I already made myself out to be on this side of the fence, so now that I learned this shit, I'm not changing. You can't do that. That's all I'm saying. I still don't know what my answer. The whole thing is still I don't fucking know. I'm ignorant as fuck, and there's a lot of things that I don't know or understand, so I have to learn more before I can give a definitive answer on which side of the fence I'm on.
Okay. Do you have any examples? Like one of those things that you just don't know about?
Oh, just no. Yeah, whether or not the Earth is a globe and the fucking heliocentric model is correct with they're just wrong about the distances and the speeds and shit, or we've been lied to the entire time. You know what I mean? So I'm just not sure which one is real or not. You know what I mean? I don't know if everybody's been taught the globe model and they're all just indoctrinated and they all believe it and they have a cognitive dissonance and a confirmation bias and they'll argue against it forever. Or if that's just the way it is, or if we've been lied to. I just don't know yet for 100% sure. You know what I mean? So
I'm gonna. So how many personal observations or measurements have you attempted?
I haven't made any specific scientific measurements, just like anecdotal ones, just things you can clearly see. Like there was a time when I saw the moon in the sky, for example, and it was crescent. And I look over and I see the sun in the sky. It was around like 1 o'clock. It was right there, and there was nothing obstructing the moon whatsoever, but yet it was still crescent. So I was like, huh, what the fuck? And if you ask anybody that, they're looking down at their phone. They're not looking up in the sky. They're totally ignorant and dumb, and I have to come to places like this to have these kind of conversations. So,
well, that's because some people just don't even understand what causes the phases of the moon. But even in the heliocentric model, the Earth doesn't cause the phases of the moon, right? So that's kind of one of those mutually exclusive things.
I thought that then it must be a common misconception that the fucking
it is an extremely common misconception. And it's been used. People come into the server and try to argue. Well, I look at the crescent moon and the Earth is. That's how I know the Earth is curved because of the curved crescent of the.
Yep.
It's like you don't understand why the phases of the moon exist according to your own heliocentric model, because that's not what they say causes the phases of the moon. Yeah. But anyway.
So, like I said, I'm ignorant to some things. So, if you know what causes it, please tell me.
I couldn't necessarily tell you what causes the phases of the moon. Me personally, I don't know the cause of that. I know the result, that it's a calendar. But apart from that, I can't really personally tell you what causes that.
I'll have to look into it a little more. That'd be the next, if I just said, that'd be the next thing I look for. Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. How familiar are you with the scientific method?
Very, yeah. I try to approach every situation in my life by the scientific method.
Okay, that's fair. So first step.
Hypothesis?
Nope.
Observation.
Something. Yep, there you go. Observation. So we can make observations. Now, once you get to the variable portion of a scientific experiment, there's at least one of those variables you're going to have to manipulate, right? That's the whole process of doing an experiment. At least some variable is being manipulated, right?
I'm following.
Okay. So in what way are you capable of manipulating the variables involving the moon?
Me personally, nothing. Like I said, I'm ignorant. I don't have the tools or anything to really do it. But,
my point would be that we lack the means to do science on the moon or about the moon, to be as clear as possible with prepositions.
That's a fact.
So it's kind of a futile effort, in my personal opinion. But people like to speculate. It's just speculation can't be equivocated with science, but it is all the time. So,
which is what, like, certainty is a big thing in science and evidence. It's a big thing. That's why I can't definitively say either one way or the other, because like you can just tell, like, from the heliocentric model, a lot of the things that they tell you are just straight fact. They just seem off, like the whole thing. Like, you don't feel any of those different motions of spinning and swirling around over, the sun or whatever, 6,600 miles an hour, and then shooting through infinite, ever expanding space at like ridiculous speeds. Nobody feels any of that. You know what I mean?
Can I tell you why you can definitively say?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, you were kind of right because definitively saying whether or not it's measured to be what they claimed or not, that's a measurement claim. It's not a scientific claim. Like you can't science that. All you can do is make a measurement. you know. That being said, all we need to know is that it doesn't measure to be a sphere the size they claim. That's pretty much all it is, because the only reason we think that we're moving but can't feel it is because of this belief. The only reason we feel like we can have gas pressure without containers because of this belief. All of these things are predicated on, well, assuming that the Earth is a sphere. But if it doesn't measure to be a sphere, then level just means parallel with the horizon. The only time it doesn't mean that is when you're thinking about a sphere and explaining to someone how level is level around the surface of the Earth. So if it doesn't measure to be a sphere, then level just means level. Stationary just means stationary. The stars moving above you overhead just means the stars are moving above you overhead. That's something you could definitively say.
Point taken. Interesting. Like I said, I don't know a lot still, I just ask some questions and looking around. But I haven't even been on an airplane yet, so,
What? You haven't even been on an airplane? How old are you, dude?
I'm 31. No, I haven't never
You've
flown.
never flown? Wow.
Yeah, I've had
Hey,
pretty fucking.
Are you afraid to fly?
Hey, I'm
No, I
5
just never
years.
really took a flight.
I'm 5 years older than him, and I've never been in an airplane either. And
What's
listen,
wrong with you?
listen. At this point in time, I'm not a really good dancer. I'm not planning on learning how to dance the hokey pokey, so I'm not sure that I'll ever be in an airplane because I'm not a very good dancer.
Have you joined the Amish community?
But anyway, it wouldn't matter if you were in an airplane, Hawkeye.
It's just more experience, like, you know what I mean?
It wouldn't.
Like
No,
being able to observe with
I'm
your own
not
eyes.
not in. Yeah, it's an experience, but it has literally nothing to do with determining whether or not the Earth's surface is curved or not.
It's something that's frequently brought up, not just being in an airplane.
Ignorantly.
That's just the broad sense of the word. It's more like even like flight patterns and looking at the map, comparing both types of maps, all that stuff, not just being in the airplane. Everything that goes along with flying, I meant.
Yeah.
It definitely gives some insight. People use that argument all the time.
They do, but they're completely ignorant when they use it.
I understand, because they don't understand the size of the Earth and how high they'd really have to really be able to see any type of anything. For one example.
People are bad at geometry.
Yes. Yes, they are. I am too, but I'm learning.
Speaking of that, how high would you have to be to see the curve of the Earth in the periphery?
I think it's somewhere between like 110,000 to 130,000, somewhere. I forgot the numbers exact.
Yeah, more like 700 miles.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's 3959, then I'd want to go at least 25% of that. But I'm not sure what the point you'd have to be in order to actually get 50%. I don't even know what kind of insane isosceles triangle that would be. Right? Does anybody know? Anybody do that isosceles triangle math on? I mean, obviously, I guess you couldn't ever see 50%.
Well,
from his.
the problem is that the horizon is essentially the limitation of your view, whether it's either the angles that your eyes can propagate from this point source or the boundary of the edge of the globe. Either way, it's the same distance, 360 degrees around you. So the variable that you have to input into any equation is one. It's one that direction, it's one that direction, it's one that direction. 1 divided by 1 is what? 1. So there's no discernible information. You have to get far, far, far away before you have any information that has any differentiation in any part of your field of view. Otherwise, it's always just going to look the same everywhere you turn. So Globers will, show you what seems to be a little curvy edge at the very edge of a image, maybe even 80,000 feet up. The problem is when you pan, it curves down again at the edge. And when you pan, it curves down again at the edge. But then when you pan all the way back around, it's back where it started. So how did it curve down? Well, the answer is it's an optical effect. It has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot when I've watched so many hours of live streams and like that Tesla car that's supposed to be just like floating around with a live stream. And like I've seen like the lens like go down and it fisheye and like the curve go the opposite direction and then back again. Like what the fuck? So they're definitely optical. They use fisheye optical lenses in a lot of the stuff that they show. So I've noticed that. So that's also what makes me question things.
Do you reckon it could be a balloon?
Huh?
Yeah. What? What about balloons? Somebody said something about balloons.
Did he mean the car is a balloon? Big Root. Was that what you said? No.
Who said it could be a balloon, and what are they talking about?
Big Root was saying something about balloon.
Oh, okay. Big Root. What?
Sorry,
What?
my baby's there. I'll come back to that. I'll come back later.
Oh, okay. It's fine.
No, it was definitely a real car, wasn't it? Yeah.
The one that they filmed
Well,
in the
the one they
studio
showed us.
with.
Yeah. I mean, the car itself was real, but not, its location, so to say.
Yeah. There's a special kind of paint that I was looking into. The super, super, super black paint. I think that, anyway, that's a side topic.
Yeah, that picture. Yeah, it was funny. It was getting bright on one side, and then when it turned around to the other side, it got completely dark out of nowhere. Like, that made absolutely no sense.
I like that. Oh man, I like that one a lot. I'm saving that one, Glatflobe. it's
I mean, I'd
quality.
almost rather see space from Earth than space from space.
Yeah, if I had to choose,
right?
If I had to choose, I think I'd go with the first one too.
All right, I posted that video. It's a planetarium director, not a flat earther by any stretch. Everyone remembers the Red Bull jump. People were claiming that they saw the curve in the Red Bull jump, and there's a famous clip from Neil deGrasse Tyson saying, "No, you didn't. That's stupid. You wouldn't see the curve from that height." So the planetarium director went one step further and said, you wouldn't even see the curve from the ISS. It's not mathematically possible, which he explains in the lecture. There's a quote from him and some of his math, and then a little clip that's Indio has on his channel. It's not the full lecture, but it's enough to get the gist of what he's talking about. So even the height of the ISS isn't sufficient enough to have curvature information in your field of view. So whatever it is they're showing you on the ISS feed is a bologna sandwich.
Yeah.
You ever notice how the ISS feed looks suspiciously similar to old Star Trek footage on the view screen? They're like, look, we're at a new planet. It just so happens to be tilted at this exact angle in our viewfinder.
Who doesn't love a good fairy tale?
I don't. Sorry.
Some are kind of fun.
I like unicorn tales.
I prefer narwhal tales. There should be a whole children's book series off of like the lead character being a narwhal.
Like a sea unicorn is a narwhal.
Yeah.
I just looked into the salt flats. So if gravity, how do you get 12 miles of flatness? The salt flats in Utah are 12 miles across and 5 miles wide. At 5 miles, you'd have, let me see, 16 feet of curvature, physical curvature, not observation curvature. And at 12 miles, we have, 96 feet of curvature, though they're perfectly flat.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
how
debunk
deep.
for gravity, and it's a debunk for the globe.
Yes, because that's how deep the lake would have to be if gravity were forming liquids into spherical bodies hanging in space.
Roderick, my friend.
I think
There's a flat
gravity.
spot.
What's up,
If
AI?
there was a flat
Go ahead.
spot.
Go ahead.
Okay, if there was a flat spot, it wouldn't be experienced as a flat spot. It would be experienced as a reciprocal slope when you're in the center. If gravity was what they claim, if you follow what I'm saying, it would essentially be higher on one side, higher on the other, and lower in the middle. That's how you would experience it gravitationally. Be very weird, wouldn't it?
Are there any flat spots in reality? Like that?
According
allegedly,
to... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Allegedly, the particle accelerator, I can't remember the name of it. There's just one particle accelerator that's supposed to be 2 miles long or something. And supposedly it's a flat spot on the Earth, and it's experienced as a reciprocal slope.
Or it's any spot on the Earth.
Well, there's a question in there, which is, what would be the actual curvature over 2 miles, right? What is it even? 32 inches or something? Or what is it? It's not much. Right? So why would you need to flatten a floor over 2 miles to be perfectly flat when the tube is elevated above the floor by like 4 feet? See what I'm saying? There's no reason to waste all the money and energy on constructing a flat floor when you can just make a regular floor and just have the tube be straight above the floor. Makes no sense.
Oh, look, we picked the flattest place in the whole world to build the Hadron Collider, guys. Look how smart we are. We had to find a flat spot because it needs to be flat. See, more money from NASA.
Mm-hmm.
We took so many surveyors. We had like 100 surveyors find the flattest spot on the Earth. We build a Hadron Collider.
Yeah.
We know all of our science. We know our geometry. White lab coat.
Yeah, I put that in all my contracts. Adjustment for curvature, $1,000. Adjustment for Coriolis, $5,000.
It would almost be hilarious and almost worth it to get prosecuted for fraud, for including something like that, calculations for curvature.
But could they really get you for that? Because you just do some calculations for curvature and you show them the math, and you're like, "Look, I did it."
Yeah, somebody'd have to sue you. They'd have to be like, "That's not important." And you'd be like, "Hey, now, what are you? One of them flat earthers?"
Yeah.
Dude, I would just say, you're right. It's not important. I didn't charge you because I used these in the project. I just charged you for me calculating them. That's why the line item in the bill clearly says calculations for curvature, $5,000.
Not
We agreed to
application.
this contract. You paid me.
Yeah, good point. Touche. That is a great extra little method.
No, we're not on a pedestal here, guys in the YouTube chat. That's the opposite of what being on the righteous side of truth is. So.
And then YouTube
That's
guys.
just their perception. That's just them conceding that we have the truth, and they just don't want to admit it. If you're gonna call us on a pedestal, why would we be on a pedestal if we're talking crap out of our ass?
No, they're on the pedestal. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They put themselves on a pedestal. These poor kids.
Yeah.
You loving the weather gospel? Isn't it great?
All I
They
see
just
is
keep
gray.
saying sunset. They're like, hey, the thing in the sky that's moving? Yeah, well, that means we're moving. Yeah, no. I know that's totally two completely mutually exclusive things. But because the thing in the sky is moving, we're moving. So ready, go.
It was 60 degrees 2 days ago, and now it's like 26. It just be up and down. Anybody else below freezing?
Well, it's going to snow tomorrow in the Netherlands.
Oh.
They're giving out code yellow, which is a warning sign. So,
okay.
Which is crazy, right? It's 30th of March.
What is code yellow
Tomorrow
for
it's
the
going to
road? On the road?
Yeah, so it's just a warning, a general warning. So when it's code yellow, you need to be extra careful, and when it's code red, they advise you to stay home. That's kind of what it is. Same with storms, right? We had this storm I think it was a month ago, Storm Eunice, and it wreaked havoc. Lots of shit. 2 or 3 people died. So, no, I'm not going to eat yellow snow. But yeah, so this is some kind of weather warning system. It's basically a weather lockdown. These Amber alerts you get sometimes on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we also have this system where if there's an emergency in your neighborhood, they will send you a special service call, a special text message, which is not. I think it's based on SMS, but it's so it's a special text service, and they send out a like a national warning for Storm Eunice that everybody needed to stay indoors. So that was the first weather lockdown we had.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, it was pretty brutal, that storm. So yeah. So if there's a big fire or a maybe quote unquote terrorist attack, right? It's in your neighborhood. You get this special SMS text where it states that you stay indoors. Anyways, guys, have a good one.
Yep.
Nice
See ya.
talk.
Have a good day.
You too, Godric. And while you're out there, if you could find, just anybody who can help us locate some Earth curvature measurement, with all these billions of people out there believing such stuff, there's got to be evidence of something out there for Earth curvature. So let us know.
Well, it's not the salt flats. Don't check there.
Yeah, don't check the salt flats. Whatever you do, if you're looking for curvature, it's the last place you want to go.
Don't check, what is it, Kentucky? Which one's a pancake?
Kansas.
Kansas. Don't check Kansas.
Yeah, don't do Kansas, guys. Hundreds of miles all the way across should be some kind of curvature. There's not. So if you're measuring for curvature, let's see, where can you measure for curve? Let's see. Can anybody tell me where we can measure for curvature and get it?
To be fair, there's the curvature of a pancake, but not a globe. So we'll give the pancake some curvature a little bit.
Oh, okay. Okay, so when we measure it, it's flat, but then everybody else is saying it's spherical. Which do we go with? The empirical direct evidence or the popular story? Which one do we go with?
Look, if you change it now, you have to change all the science books. Come on, what's the easiest thing to do?
That's true. Gosh, that'd be so much work changing the science books from globe Earth back to facts. It's a lot of work. Call Scholastic, though. We got to get started.
I provided a gift.
No, friends. You need to understand how school textbooks work. They want to change the textbooks because they can charge for new editions. This is a great idea.
Yeah, it is a great idea.
Yeah, we'll convince them to change it all, and we'll split the profits.
That's where you lost them, because you said split the profits.
Split the profits. Okay, guys, but listen, if you cut a sphere in half, then there's 2 flat spots on the new parts. What do you do about that? Because remember, nothing is flat on this Earth. Okay? Not even water level. It's not flat. It's somehow, even though it's perfectly straight from left to right, somehow that means it's curved. I don't know.
And
I'm really trying hard to get this curvature thing into my mind, but I can't find it anywhere, and nobody can seem to. I don't.
You got to listen to Weird Al Yankovic a little bit more. I'll post the song again.
Okay.
Why was he talking about flat Earth? Really?
No. The way that you can help yourself understand why straight is curved, you just have to listen to this song over and over again, and eventually you too will understand that straight is curved. And the name of the song is Weird Al Yankovic, Everything You Know Is Wrong. Yeah, it's a Weird Al.
I'd like to hear that if somebody can play it for us.
Well, yeah, copyright violation stuff, but
Oh, somebody put the YouTube in. I'll click on YouTube too.
yeah, I posted it.
Earlier, I heard a Glober say that flat Earth is a gross miscalculation. Well, that's probably right. How about you measure for it instead of calculate? Then you'll know.
True that.
I mean, I can't remember the last time I calculated flat Earth. I just remember the last time I measured it. So. And if everybody could take a look at the YouTube chat, if you have the second or two, all they can do is make it personal, saying things like, we have to get rid of our family and friends if we are a flat earther, and what else? Imagine if a family member called me and I said, hey, the earth is flat. So basically what they're doing, since they have no globe evidence, is they're going to try to moonlight as like psychotherapists, and bullies. It's like they do the bully psychotherapist kind of thing. So yeah, it's interesting. Definitely interesting. When you watch these globers flail and writhe around in front of you like this, they come up with some of the craziest stuff to not talk about the lack of Earth curvature found everywhere.
Yeah, they really like to avoid that one.
Huh?
Said they really like to avoid that one.
Yeah. You'd think there'd be curvature everywhere, right? I mean, I've seen spheres before, right? Or what they call globes, and it seemed to be rounded, right? Everywhere. The whole thing had a little bit of roundness to it, some curvature, if you will. Why can't we find that on Earth? Why can nobody find Earth curvature, no matter how hard they look?
What's that?
Surely it's got to be somewhere. If you have evidence that the Earth might actually have curvature, you need to bring it in and tell us about it, because we will be excited to hear about that. It's like asking somebody for money when they'll never have any. It's kind of how it's like. I almost feel bad. Like, hey man, I need $5 from you. Dude, I'm never gonna have any money. Yeah, but I'm gonna need that $5. They think it's like, hey, I need that curvature measurement. Well, there aren't any to be had. Right, but I'm gonna need that. It's almost mean, right?
You mean it's like beating a dead horse?
No, couldn't be.
to make it go faster? You just speed it more?
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Is there a resource on your Discord's got lots of different subsections? Is there a resource for getting hold of a good laser at all, or what you'd recommend if it was someone was setting out to try and do an experiment with laser? What do you think they should do? Is there someone who can give me some advice at all? I know you guys have done laser tests. I just wondered where I'd start really, and what are we looking for in terms of a laser? Has anybody got any tips or guides as to what you're looking for?
I don't think we have anything in here, but
yeah, I posted.
Hold on. Okay, good. Yeah,
Okay,
because I
cool,
don't think the laser test faction of this. I'm looking through it right now. Thank you, Gospel.
I'm looking for something that's got something
Go
that's
ahead,
got
Gospel.
minimum divergence, like a mile or 2 miles or something. Because I know the beam, the laser light widens, doesn't it, as it goes away, because it's not perfectly parallel all the way, is it? So I don't think. But yeah, so just seeing what's the best route to getting one that keeps its accuracy over distance.
I was just gonna add to what Glat Flobe was saying earlier about the guy that didn't have the $5. Nothing drives me crazier than people that keep reinforcing that they're broke and never think they'll have anything. Like, oh, I'm broke, man. I'm not working. I'm never gonna go anywhere or be anything or do anything or have anything in life. I hate those people, man.
Yep. Always broke, and because that means like, and it's like, yeah, because I'll never have money to pay you back is what they're trying to say.
What I'm hearing is I'm not even going to try. That's what I hear when I hear people talk that shit.
Can't be bothered.
I'm not even going to try to find curvature. So, like, I don't have curvature. I don't need curvature. I don't want curvature. But it's a globe. So leave me alone.
Correct. Listen, the only thing that will settle this argument is Earth curvature, and therefore, me being a glober, I never will ever present it to you, not because it doesn't exist, but because I love talking to you.
Aw, some
That's what
people
it
just
has
need
to be,
friends.
right? They just love talking to us. It's not that they don't have curvature measurements. Of course, it's everywhere, right? Curvature's everywhere, but they just want to hang out. That's nice. That's nice, you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, some people just need a friend. And sometimes you really do need a friend. It's not a bad thing. But lying is no great path to making good friends. Quiet noobs. How's life, noobs?
Good, I'm laying in bed. Just listening in bed.
I
Last Sunday's Globebuster show was really good with Witsit was there. I think he's there every Sunday, but it was a really good show last Sunday on Globebusters.
Any TLDR summary?
I'm not sure what that is. Can you clarify? Sorry.
Oh yeah, TLDR just stands for too long didn't read. I was just using it, in place of I didn't watch it. Is there a way to maybe summarize it for others like me?
Let me try to recall some of the things they were covering. Just give me a sec. They touched back on the bubbles in space.
Mm-hmm.
Brought up how I believe it was one of Jaren's or Witsit's friends confronted somebody on stage, and he was stymied, and kept pointing out how they could take on any physicist or whatever, and make them look like an idiot.
Do they have any videos of these bubbles going in all directions?
Nope, they always just seem to move up.
Yeah.
Towards the top of the screen. It doesn't matter how the image in the clip looks, the bubble moves upwards. Like the Earth could be on the top or the bottom in the image, but the bubble moves up towards the top of the frame.
I wonder why. But they're in space, you'd expect the bubbles to just kind of float around, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Sorry, my morning coffee is making me cough. It's like it seems to be going upwards towards a surface, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just something I'm thinking. That's all.
See, what I'm doing is I'm still manning or attempting to still man the Glober conception by ignoring the fact that there's bubbles, right? Pretending that doesn't matter in the first place, but then doubling down on the fact that even if it was permissible for bubbles to be in outer space, why do they only go in one direction?
Yeah. I gotcha.
Interesting.
Yeah, like shouldn't they go in like whatever
Float around
direction whenever they get released? Like why always? Yeah, one way.
They should go in the direction that they were set forth.
Yeah.
An object in motion remains in motion unless anyway. You know the thing. Hey, if it's good enough for the president, it's good enough for me.
Come on, man.
Just gonna say you know the thing.
I watched a few Jeff Dunhams there, and he has one Joe Biden there, and this is great. Usually they just whisk me away, like because he gets to keep talking at the podium, keep answering questions.
Nice.
Jeff Dunham, he's hilarious. The ventriloquist guy there with Ahmed, the dead terrorist. I can't believe it. I was on Facebook like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago or something, and I'm in there's a whole bunch of comments going off in this room, and I'm like, silence, I'd kill you. And somebody's like, what? What do you, pardon me? Like they thought I was seriously threatening them or something. I'm like, it's Ahmed, the silent terrorist. Aren't you familiar? Oh, fuck. Some people don't know how to laugh. That's the sad part. It's important to remember that too.
Yeah, and some of us laugh at different things. I don't always laugh at all jokes. Sometimes it's because I don't get it. Sometimes it's because I don't think it's funny. But some things are like I busted out laughing when I heard the Simmons guy not it's Photoshop because it has to be, but it looks kind of flat. When he said it looks kind of flat, I thought that was hysterical. When he was talking about the Earth looking kind of flat. Now I get it. I get it. He was talking about color and not the feature of the surface. You know, I understand, but still, I thought it was funny.
Yeah. One of my most hilarious clips is Michelle Thaler being the Rock and stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
I think of myself as a complicated rock. Like that shit. Just seriously, man.
If
And all
anybody
the kids are supposed to hear that and relate to it. And, oh, I guess I'm a complicated rock too.
Is anybody interested in going through the 3 points with Klaus Schwab here?
I could. I think I've done it once or twice. Welcome to the room, Klaus. Are you there?
You have the opportunity to say hello, Klaus. I'll give you 10 seconds.
Oh no, Klaus Schwab is in the house.
I saw your light. Go ahead.
What's up?
Welcome.
Well, welcome to the room. Would you like to be walked through the 3 points? Just 3 quick questions to give us a feel of where you are. There's a yes, no, or an I don't know as an answer. And get through them pretty quick. All right, so the first question is, when and who has detected the rotation of the Earth?
What rotation?
Okay, so that's a no. It has never been detected?
No.
Okay. When and who found the curvature of the Earth, saw the curvature of the Earth, verified the curvature of the Earth? Has that happened? When did it happen? How did it happen?
It's never been done.
So another no? There's no curvature? Yeah. Okay. And then the last question is, can you demonstrate a pressurized system next to a vacuum without a barrier?
Nope.
All right. Thanks.
That was fun.
Sorry.
No, it's okay, Klaus. What brings you to the server?
I'm just in listening.
Okay.
I like the subject.
Okay.
Have you seen anything on this topic anywhere else, or how did you find the server? Did a friend recommend it, or?
Actually, I've been in the server for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is my original account got banned, so I have created a
And
backup.
where do you stand on the topic nowadays? If it's been a while since you've been here.
I know I was recently banned, so
I know, but I'm saying since you've been unbanned and you're back, where do you stand on the topic nowadays? Are you leaning? Are you still on the fence?
No, I've never been on the fence. I immediately knew it was flat when the arguments were presented to me. So
okay,
I've
cool.
been
So you know,
yeah,
you're free thinking enough to know there's jack shit on Mars as they present it to us. Then that's good.
Yeah, Mars is just a chocolate bar.
Right on, brother.
Yeah.
I'd like it if you could provide a little context for. You said you were banned. Who were you banned by? The server or by Discord?
By Discord.
Okay, say no more. It's fine.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you.
What part of the Earth are you from? Are you in Canada, the States, Europe?
What's your guess?
Oh, I don't have one. It was just a question. I'm not trying to pin you down, brother. If you don't want to answer, you don't.
It's okay. No, it's okay. I was just curious what you think.
I'm in Canada, by the way. The can in my name is representative of Canada as well. The fact that I can do shit.
Right.
Yeah, I think you're in Europe.
Yeah.
So, how did you inherit the name Klaus Schwab?
Okay, I'm a dipshit. Yeah, I guess you're in Germany or Russia or something.
It's definitely.
No, I'm in. Yeah, I'm a Swedish dude.
Nice.
Swedish.
Nice.
Sweden. Oh, nice.
Neutral land.
Well, that'd be Switzerland you're thinking of.
Okay.
No, Sweden, not Switzerland.
Yeah,
Never heard of Sweden before?
It's the same thing.
One's inside the other, is it not? I'm a stoner, man.
Oh my goodness.
I go to Sweden to go to Switzerland, and they're like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Yeah, that's what they would probably say. Switzerland is notoriously neutral. That's their reputation is neutrality. Sweden, I've never heard that reputation.
Okay. Two different places at my heads. I thought
Correct.
maybe Switzerland was the capital of Sweden or something. I don't know. Whatever.
No, definitely not.
Or Sweden was the capital of Switzerland. Whatever. Either way, but they're two different spots. Okay. Excuse me, everyone. I'm ignorant today.
Sweden was neutral in Second World War.
I'm learning something new.
It's okay.
You know?
What was that? Get?
No, get me, Sasha. Sweden was neutral in Second World War.
Okay.
Oh, what you said?
Sweden was neutral in Second World War.
Okay, thank you.
Passively, yes. But they were helping still.
But like Swiss, the same.
Well, I don't know about the Swiss one.
I just know I just know we are not here to destroy each other, whatever our differences are.
Man, it's all about women.
Well, I mean, one thing that makes Sweden neutral is because of one of the elite families running Sweden as well. To make it short.
I still can't get over that temple ceremony. I mean, the temple ceremony, the tunnel ceremony happened over there. It's crazy. When they finished that tunnel from there to France, that you guys ever watched that ceremony?
Fucking satanic fucking shit. Big time.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, it was so satanic.
I don't know how normies can't see it. Like, I just.
You mean the tunnel that they dug from two separate directions towards each other without taking into account the curvature of the Earth and completely perfectly meeting the two lines?
That wasn't in Sweden. That was in
England.
Germany was
Yeah.
Switzerland. That tunnel.
Oh, this is a different.
Oh, my bad. That's right. Yes, Switzerland. I keep getting those two mixed up. Swiss and Swedes.
Wait, which tunnel are we talking about here?
Welcome to the club.
It's the same tunnel you're talking about.
I think it's Germany.
It's the same thing, confusing them and shit.
Yeah. No, it was Germany, and then they made some kind of play. I don't know, some kind of ritual play out of it afterwards, showing it.
That was Switzerland.
There must be more tunnels than I'm aware of, basically.
No, there's a lot.
Either Switzerland or Germany. I don't remember which one it was.
The weird ritual. Like,
dude, did you guys see that they're trying to do a suspended tunnel thing, like literally hanging in like unsubmerged, but like it's gonna span. It's gonna be like so big, dude.
In
Like,
the water.
Yeah, like in the water. It's gonna be suspended.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, it is going to be like a floating, but an underwater floating tunnel.
Floating. Yeah. Can you imagine that? That's. I can't believe they're serious about that. I mean, it's not even a joke.
Yeah. Kind of neat.
Yeah, but I didn't even know how. That's some serious engineering. I have no idea how that's gonna
Yeah, I hear you on that.
play out. Dude, this coffee is good. It tastes like the cup. You know, it gets like it's so hot that it's tasting like the wax is on the inside of the cup.
So, Klaus, how long have you been a flat earther, if one may say?
Since 2015.
Oh, that's quite.
Yeah, Eric Dubay flat smacked me.
I'm sure I did. At least it's a wake-up call, I would say, at least. To give yourself an honest opinion to look into it, at least, if you're open-minded. Oh yeah, great stuff.
Has he made any new videos?
Yeah, he still makes videos.
It's done a lot of good stuff, like dinosaur hoax and all that other stuff. Nuclear. Before anyone else did.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
How's it going?
Mostly quiet right now.
I heard some German guy on earlier. He was funny.
We might have a different sense of humor, but okay.
Well, I thought he was LARPing at first, because I thought that's too much of a cliched German accent.
Yeah.
Playing Zeke Lober. But yeah, he raged pretty hard at the end there, didn't he?
He sure did.
You play the victim card.
I was also laughing at Sweden being neutral but passive but helping at the same time in the war. Like they're like, come on, Britain, you guys get going. France, go for it. We'll be right behind you guys. Don't even worry about it. We're just getting our boots on. We've got to get the guns clean. We've got to pack lunches. We'll be there, honestly, really quickly. Just go to the front. We're right behind you.
Yeah,
not
something
showing
like
up.
that. I mean, they did support, but they didn't actually engage into the war like that. That's what I was trying to say. They're not innocent as you think they are. Yeah.
I'm not casting any aspersions. I'd have been like,
No, it's all cool. I'm just saying is just don't believe whatever the others mainstream media have been telling about Sweden is so innocent and what they're not.
Oh no, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know much about it. I just find the idea funny on like a national level of someone being like, yeah, put it back, but then not really being arsed and being like, we'll get to it. Oh, it's over. Oh, never mind, guys. We won anyway. Couldn't have done it without us. Good stuff. So you said you were keeping a flat Earth for a while, yeah?
That was Klaus, I think you're talking about.
Oh, right, okay, was that another guy?
Yeah, the guy that joined, Klaus Schwab.
All right, Klaus Schwab joined. We are going places. What's up, Klaus? What you got planned?
Don't we all want to know Klaus Schwab's plans?
He's been fairly open about it. He's like, yeah, we bribe your politicians and we get them on our side and kind of just tell them what we want to do.
I think I saw a family tree that the Schwab is a descendant from the Rothschild or something. I don't know. Maybe someone can confirm that.
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like something that's happened.
I saw a post of that before on Facebook, and then fact checkers came in and straight away.
Yeah. Klaus Schwab is related to the Rothschilds, but he's the third cousin, and it's coincidence.
Yeah, something like that.
Debunked. Sweet. No, that definitely surprises me personally.
Well, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Considering the position he holds on to right now.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of being sarcastic.
Yeah, I figured. No, okay, I got it.
Schwabenland. All right. I was going to ask Klaus how he flat smacks people. I'm always interested when new people join, what their tactics are. It's any different from how we do it. Is Klaus still here?
Yep.
You just give them £1 billion and say you believe the Earth is flat now. Yes. That's how I imagine Klaus would do it.
Klaus, can you hear me?
I didn't realize it was for me.
Yeah, I was talking to you.
How's it going?
Well, I'm sorry. My girlfriend just set the house on fire. I had to put it out. What was the question?
I just said I was just asking if you speak to new people about flat Earth. I don't know if you do, but if you were to, because we stream live to YouTube, it's good. There's always new people listening. How would you get them to start thinking about the flat Earth and the globe? Like, what points would you bring up to recommend to them to start researching? It could be anything that got you, because it's different for everyone. You know, some people resonate with some things, some people get more compelled by different aspects. I just wondered what it was for you.
For me personally, was the flatness, the water, and then the rest just like came. You know, it was kind of the water, like was the starter, at least, because I mean it was right in front of me my whole life. So just that argument is so strong, I guess. So that's if I talk to people, I'm trying to always first establish if they are even capable of rational thinking, because
You're going to fit in well here. That's exactly what we need to do quite a lot. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah. So, and from there on, it's just to get a feel of, you can ask questions and see where they are in their mind about the globe, and then you can start from there.
Yeah,
I haven't really. Yeah, I haven't really flat smacked anyone. As I said, I don't know if it's if it's me or the person listening who is doing the actual thing. I mean, I'm just bringing it up to light. So
yeah, that's fair. You're just giving out some information that you've found and saying, hey, think about this type of thing.
yeah, exactly. Or have you thought about this? Have you thought about the horizon always being flat? You never feeling the earth spinning, or yeah.
Cool.
Always
Yeah, no.
seeing planets in CGI photos, or yeah. I think the curve is the best argument there is. If you can't see past that, then I don't think there is much, I don't know, hope of rationalizing.
No, I agree with you. The curvature is the number one. Oh, well, welcome to the server. Glad you're here. Glad you found us.
Thank you.
I also heard a bit that made me laugh yesterday. There was a guy, was he a physics student or something, that I checked in, and then I came in here and Flat Earth Solar started speaking to him. And I caught one of the bits he said where he was talking about gravity. And he's saying, well, you know gravity's real, like they say, because if you go to the pyramids of Giza and set up some clocks, and then go out into the desert and set up some clocks, the clocks next to the pyramid will run 1 second slower over the course of 1 year. Which personally I've not heard before, but I thought that was a
yeah, I think that was a new one. I never heard that one before.
I was here for that. I heard that and I was like, yeah, that checks out. Makes perfect sense.
Pyramid clocks gospel. What's I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
I'm starting to. But no one asked him for that experiment, and I've not been able to find it. So hopefully he comes back. I mean, the gas pressure one always makes them say crazy shit.
Gravity.
Gravity.
That's the answer for everything.
It's gravity! We had a great clip of someone saying that. Was that Fight the Fat Earth or whatever his name is? It's fucking gravity! Or was it Gem Panda? I can't remember who it was, but there was a great clip of some glower spazzing screaming, it's fucking gravity. And he just sounded unhinged.
Yeah.
My favorite soft way to do it is to point out shit like the no cell service, and the like, even in the city there's places where you'll have no cell service, but yet there's a fucking rover on Mars. Really, bud? Okay, so I'll do shit like that.
Autonomous. Nobody ever asks the question about those devices elsewhere, that they're doing things, and they would have to be doing things autonomously. No, we can talk to the machines. They hear us.
It's remote control, man, from a room at NASA.
There's a delay.
There should be thousands of AI Johnny Fives kicking about, you mean? Just in all these remote places doing their thing.
Shit, I just watched They Live the other day for the first time, for the 10th time the other day. And fuck, it was crazy. My stoner brain realized there's at least 2 scenes where they imply drones.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a UFO, a miniature UFO, but it's supposed to be something watching them.
Yeah. What about
Crazy. No, well, I didn't recognize that the first like 50 times I watched the movie.
Oh.
Like the other day I watched it again for the first time, for the 100th time, and I was like, "Oh fuck. They're pre-programming us about drones in the future in this fucking thing. Look at that. That's like it's not a drone, but that's basically what a drone will be.
You smoke too much weed, dude.
Sometimes I think I don't smoke enough, but we'll agree to disagree.
Gospel? What was your point there about the autonomy? I want Gospel to finish his thought
About the which part?
about the Mars rover the autonomous robots.
All right, so they supposedly are doing these missions for like a long time, even like a thing doing a thing for a couple of days. Are we to think that like the Mars rover reboots itself on intervals? It performs self maintenance on intervals. Like for instance, do you know how often, I don't know, anybody with a PC or even a laptop, every now and then you got to take that can of air, right, and maybe other material, like you got to clean your computer up because it collects dust and stuff. Like, is it doing all of those things? Is it doing all those things? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's doing all of those things all by itself, and it just, or nobody cares, and it's just not doing all those things, and it's, I don't know. They're just these are the sorts of things that
I think the bigger problem.
Somebody's
robot.
I think a bigger problem is the fact it traveled 9 years going breakneck speeds while everything else is moving
robotic so bad
through a vacuum, and then managed to slow down, land, protect all the technology, and then you're over here going,
you are robot.
Nathan, it's 1 second on, 1 second off, 1 second on, 1 second off, 1 second on. You're
That sounds
roboting.
absolutely ridiculous. Hey, look at that light in the sky. Well, you can't slow things down in a vacuum. There's nothing to push
hear me
against.
in a few seconds.
Sorry. Check out Delete Laws. Love you guys.
This one, Nathan. Yeah,
it's all good.
We caught the end of that anyway. The start, you were robot a bit, but yeah, it's obviously all ridiculous. But that's a good point, Gospel, because like what operating software they're using, like you can barely use Excel for a day without crashing 3 times.
Yeah.
So like, is there not going to be just one moment where it's like uh-oh, he's blue screened. What's he gonna do? Can we fix it from here? Yeah. And yeah, there's no details of that, I'm sure. Like this special NASA software that never crashes.
And it's, so check this out. It's allegedly collecting data, right? It's just collecting data. Well, you have to have a way to parse that data, and you have to have a storage management system. I just want to meet the software developer, all right, that designed all of the algorithms and ways of automating, because that guy could like wipe out, if they did that dude could probably wipe out, I don't know the number of people, but a lot of jobs. That dude could save a lot of companies a lot of money with that level of programming.
That's why he's with the best of the best. NASA, don't pet it. Shout out.
Yeah, but everything about NASA is, it's just like they have all of these all of this technology, all these things that they've made, and they don't share it with the rest of the world, right? So you have a machine that can make water out of air, all of this stuff that these guys can drink their own pee and do all this stuff. But you tell me I can't have that in my house? Why? You see what I'm saying? So I don't have any issues. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have to worry about a water shortage or something like that. You have all these things that can do all of this high tech stuff, but yet you don't share it with the public. It just it makes no sense.
It's like that battery that sits on standby for 9 years till it lands on fucking Mars and then turns on and starts operating a bunch of shit. Well, okay, how about a fucking cell phone battery that I don't have to charge for a whole year then? How about that?
It's like no one thinks about these things. I'm like, are you people stupid? You're telling me you don't want this technology? It's only they can have it. We're not good enough. I mean, what the fuck? It's coming out of our taxes. The shit they're building, right?
You bought
Dude,
it, but you can't have it. You can
only
look
Don
at it. Don't
Pettit.
touch. No, don't touch that button. I know you own it, but don't just look at it.
Only Don Pettit drinks the poo-poo coffee. The rest of them drink the regular coffee from the real coffee machine. They just trick him into drinking the toilet water.
He's a taxpayer that has access to the shit.
Yeah, the other astronauts have just told Don that's how it works up here while they go and have Nescafe or whatever else. Sorry, Don. You gotta have the poo coffee. Oh well, at least I'm in space.
Have yourself a cup of coffee. That guy says.
But yeah, no, it is crazy, isn't it? They can get clean drinking water to the ISS and 250 miles up above the Earth, but they can't get it to like Flint, Michigan, a few miles away.
Right, exactly.
Guy floats into the room holding a Dunkin' Donuts coffee cup on the ISS. Don's like, "Where'd you get that?" "Never mind, Don. Drink the poo coffee."
Yeah.
They don't believe in diminishing returns on the ISS. Just like, most of the Glovers are now not believing that flat or straight can even exist in reality. My next question for a Glober is, if I draw a line on a sheet of paper, right, it's still curved because everything is curved. But if I take that piece of paper and I bend it a little bit, would it then be a straight line? That's my riddle for the next Glober I talk to.
They'd say something mental like it could be curved, but you never truly know because none of us can see what that true standard of flat would be.
Yeah.
There'd be some insanity like that.
Yeah.
But that's a good one. I want to hear that.
Because according to them, everything is in a minuscule way. It's all curved. Everything, everywhere, 100% of the time, according to them. Everything, rulers, water, everything. 100% of everything is always curved on a minuscule level, according to the Glovers. So I'm like, okay, so if I bend it, would it then be? And that's what you'd have to do if you believed that. You would believe that the only way for anything to be straight is if it's bent. Which is like the movie I watched last night where it was Big Bully with Tom Arnold and Rick Moranis or whatever. And in the movie there's this bully and he's like, yes means I punch you, no means I don't, yes or no for me to punch you or something. I don't know. I'm probably quoting it terribly wrong, but like it was a lose-lose situation. Or yes means no and no means yes. Do you want me to punch you? That's what it was. That was the quote. Got to get it right. Sorry about that. But it's kind of like that. It's this heads I win, tails you lose curve.
It kind of makes me think about how the intelligence services might talk to you if they were trying to torture you in a place like Guantanamo Bay or something.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, legit information. They actually make people, especially the ones that are trying to expose the mother tongue, like they think that they're faking English, for instance. They'll make them count in English nonstop. Like, so, but what happens is when you start getting into the thousands, your brain like it starts stressing your brain really, really hard because it just takes longer to say. So if I was pretending to be French, I'd be like mille un, mille deux, mille trois, mille quatre. Like, and eventually I'm just going to sound like a crazy person because I can't even pronounce it right because I'm too used too used to saying 1,000 or whatever, vice versa. But that's one of the torture techniques to expose a spy is just having them count.
Damn. Yeah, I can see why that would be effective. Well, I learn something new every day in here. Always appreciate it. It's a good tip.
It's a weird one, but yeah, works apparently.
Yeah, we could use that in here. These fake Germans we've got coming in.
Just count to 100.
Dear me. But yeah, it's like a torturous undermining of your cognitive ability and awareness, right? To be like, there is no flat line. I mean, it's straight 1984 speak, but this is the position that people get into themselves naturally when they're trying to talk about the globe.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone should be telling them something. Like, they're Guantanamo Baying themselves just to try and maintain this globally.
Somebody phrased it as reverse gaslighting.
Yeah, kind of is, yeah. Like, you have to bullshit yourself to the point where you will accept the bullshit.
Yeah.
My goodness.
That'll give you a little bit of sympathy for folks. A victim of reverse gaslighting.
Yeah, it's brutal. Like,
It's
they've been
just
gaslit so hard that they gaslight themselves for protection to carry it on.
Yeah.
It's actually brutal. Wow. I'm going to get some hateful DMs for this conversation.
I don't get too many. I do get some weird DMs, but
How about to ask them to draw the elevation map from the east to west coast, let's say in USA? You understand? You make, let's say, Los Angeles, and then you go straight to the east coast. But you need to make elevation map. You need to make all mountains in between.
Yeah.
And then we ask them what is what is the base.
You're talking about, hey, show me an orthographic topographical orthotopographical? Is that how that would go? Is that the right?
Let's say that you are watching from the side, from Mexico you're watching, let's say, and that you can see it from left to the right. But now let's make a map, all that mountains, what is going from the left to the right, to the coast, from the east to the west coast. And now let's realize which level we are using, from the east coast or from the west coast, or what is the line, because through the ground it must curve.
Well, anybody looking up this subject, word of warning, public service announcement: do not go to elevationmap.net. There is there's a threat on that website, an adware threat. It's not very common that I go to a website that seems really benign and it triggers my security system. But there you go.
They know the kind of people who are checking out the elevation profile.
Front sight elevation, I think, is maybe one of the ways that they call it. Front sight elevation map. Elevation map. Let me double check. Nope. It's not an easy thing to search for.
We have some good elevation profile images of things like the Great Lakes and stuff like that, and they all have a flat baseline. But you know the Globies, you ask them to do it, they're just going to arbitrarily insert a curve. Or at least claim it's there, even though no one represents it or accounts for it. Now the elevation profiles are interesting.
Interesting.
The space station is a serious place. We're doing serious research, scientific research and engineering research. We have a regenerative life support system, which is a fancy way of saying that we've got a toilet that you use and then a machine that goes chugga, 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 chug, and then you go to the galley and you make yourself a cup of coffee. And that's exactly what you are thinking it is. And this is the kind of engineering research that we're doing on space station. It's needed so that when we go to Mars, we won't run out of water.
That's funny.
Choo choo.
That's a tasty cup of joe.
Chugga, chugga, chugga.
For Jane.
There you have it. It's like Austin Powers.
And then on the opposite hand, they tell us they can't get clean
So we
drinking water
didn't
on the reserves in Canada. The third world countries that need clean water, they can't have it, but on the ISS, no problem.
Honestly, it blows my mind that they're coming out with this shit. And this is still seen as a fringe view. To be questioned this total nonsense. Oh, it just goes chugga, 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 and you got yourself a cup of joe. Alright. If you say so.
Yep.
But no one can prove or see or experience or
I bet the soup they make with that is tasty.
Nope. I mean, people make fun of people who drink their own urine, but people worship the people who are claiming to drink their own poo.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
How could anybody think Don Pettit is intelligent? Or, I mean, like a scientist?
Yeah, he seems like the kind of guy that should be selling ice cream or something. Behind some kind of counter.
Something easy to remember, yeah.
Is anyone speaking right now?
Nobody is speaking right this second except for me right this second.
I'm speaking right now.
In fact, even that word or term, third world, to me is just fucking bunk bullshit. There's one world, one Earth, and like that's the way I think my opinion is to keep us class divided and stuff.
How many
Rich,
dimensions are
poor,
there?
middle class. You could be poor in a first world country. You're treated like a third class citizen, right?
You're against othering people?
Or classification, I guess. Like these LGBT LMNOP people. Dude, I don't care. Like, why are you trying to classify yourself and, you're better than others or something, or you need more than a hetero? Like, I don't get it. Just chill the hell out.
Does it bother you?
Well, I don't know. It's like sighted blind people, right? Walk by a homeless person and not even try to extend a helping hand. I don't know.
Well, I don't know about where you live, but where I live, they're alienating homeless people. They're making them out to be these horrible people. They're criminals and drug addicts and all that. Especially now that there's lots more homeless people around. I think it's kind of sick and twisted, if you ask me.
Absolutely. In fact, up here in Canada, there was a thing a few years ago, topic about should we allow the migrant workers to have access to our health care if they were to be injured or whatever. And I'm like, how is that even a question? The guy's arms half hanging off. Should we help him? Like, no, let's just send him back to Mexico or the States or wherever they migrated from for the
We'll
season to
just
work in
create
the
a
field.
special
Like,
project
how
that pays
stupid.
everybody. I know, it's funny. It's like you got a bunch of complete morons running everything.
Just watched a sweet chop down and rebuild of a Yamaha, and when he was done, it looked more like a Harley than a Yamaha. Sorry, off topic, just something I'm watching in the background. I love motorcycles. I said it.
That's fabulous. I got a
I
question for
enjoy
you.
and I enjoy and love a lot of other things too. It's just definitely an
I got a
interest.
really
So
weird question for you.
go
What is a
for it.
woman?
Can you believe it?
No, seriously. No, seriously. I'm dead serious. What is a woman?
Well,
Like, how do you define?
for me, I would say it's the one who's going to crush my heart again for the 80th time when I fall in love again.
Oh,
That's what a woman is to me.
Bro, someone hit
No,
the music.
to me, she's a life giver, right? I mean, to me, the woman is you have to protect all women. I don't know, man. A woman is a person unto herself, I guess. Like, I don't know. I'm not
aye.
trying to figure them out or define them. Like, can you really? No
Yes,
two women are the same, are they?
a woman is defined as being not a man. That's
Well,
it.
yeah, definitely a female, right? But
No,
I'm just saying, no two women are the same. That's all.
Very controversial question. Get the
well,
server shut down. This ain't
I mean,
24/7
some of them
biology.
used
How are
to.
we supposed to know?
In fact, some of them used to be men, and some of them want to be men. So, no two women are the same.
Really?
here,
Female organs.
Some of them become men and think they're a man, but they're still a woman. So, some of
the
them
number
become
2
women and think they're no longer a man, but they're still a man. So, right?
It's the number 2 trending word on etymology, etymonline.com. Yeah, so it continues to be something that people are genuinely trying to understand. But there's
More like they're confused.
whatever the case. But there you go.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
So, am I correct that meme you posted, those are words people that are what we would call blue pilled or normies are trying to understand or figure out? Or define? What is good? Is that
No, I
what
mean,
that
those
is?
are the most searched words.
Oh,
Those are the
okay,
most
okay.
common searched words. Like, people look up the meaning of those.
Yeah, I'm into bikes, jumping out of planes, creating art, selling shit, breaking hearts. Um, Swimming. I like swimming a lot. Playing chess. Flat smacking people is fun too. I gotta admit that. It really is.
Yeah, and motorcycles.
Saying shit to people like, no, don't worry,
Flat
relax.
smacking and motorcycles.
You're still on your spinning ball. Calm down. Chill out. When they start spiraling and shit.
What kind of motorcycle you ride?
Right now, I don't. I have a couple of sets of wheels. I don't have any two wheels right at the moment, but I've ridden lots of dirt bikes and shit like that. I'm not sure what I'm gonna get next. Or to start.
So nobody can define what a woman is.
Somebody I was really close to bought a really nice crotch rocket, tore it all apart, put it back together. I think he was having a hard time sourcing a part, got rid of it. I don't know. It's weird. Some people you'll think you'll talk to them forever and know them forever, and then certain things go down, and it's just like they're not worth your time no more.
Really, that sounds kind of quick to judge, but
Well, no, it wasn't a quick thing. Believe me. I introduced him to the lady he had 3 beautiful children with. It just after a while, when they show their true colors and you can see them for who they really are, and it's no longer worth your time. You know what I'm saying? When you've been there for them 1,000,001 times, and every 10 times you call them for a hand, they're there for you twice. You know, like I don't know. Call me at 3 a.m. I'm there for you, right?
mm-hmm.
So I don't know. For me, if you just because you don't see my worth doesn't lower my value. I guess is the best way to explain it, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
I could spend 1.5 years helping you rebuild your home and listen to you bitch and complain about crap, lend you money to rebuild the house, and then watch you buy a couple of 55-inch TVs and we still don't have the flooring down. I don't got time to spend here no more, bud. Get the money you owe me and I'll catch you on the other side. You know what I mean? Like, it's just ridiculous. There's another example. Like, that's another individual I gave more than they deserved. You know what I mean? Like, as an example, if I was in their shoes and they were lending me money to buy insulation and paint and shit for the house I had to gut and rebuild, the last thing I do while they're there spending 24 hours a day, 7 days a week helping me do it is if they leave for a break, when they come back, have 2 big flat screen TVs sitting there. You know what I mean? I'd be spending every penny I got on shit I needed for the house. And then when the house was done, focus on the TVs and paying my buddy back the money I owe.
Yeah.
Like, it's just rude. That's all. Some people don't think. And we're talking like not a 2-year friendship, right? So that's the even sadder part. Sorry, guys. I'm sharing today.
Well, it sounds like you needed to get it off your chest.
At least I'm not naming names. Nothing specific. It's just what it is. Life experience, right? I'm just learning to pull back and focus a little more on myself, I guess.
Look at this astronaut. That is cool. You think he could go to space in that thing?
Astronaut?
I'm trying to remember. They didn't have a bike on the fucking moon, did they? Just that rover thing, eh?
The lunar motorbike that almost made it
You
to the
mean that
moon.
Jeep?
I guess they decided to
That
stop
was a
going
Jeep
after they
frame,
built
dude.
the lunar bike.
It was a Jeep frame with one of those, those yard chairs that you used to get in the 80s? You know, they had like
Oh,
plastic straps across it that were woven a little bit. Remember how uncomfortable they were and how they break on you? Well, that's what they put on that's what they use for chairs. The land
and
for the moon
a
rover.
Netflix dish. A little satellite dish there. Send and receive signals from Earth.
Someone was saying last night, I think it was it. Somebody was saying that, oh, I believe the moon landing. I'm like, have you watched the moon landings? Have you seen the actual footage of it? You might want to go back and watch that, my friend. Just might want to go watch that before you say that you believe it's true.
Yeah, I can't wait to get in the wind. I'm thinking I'm gonna try to shop for something in the $10,000 range. Just buy it outright. I don't want no payments and shit.
What are you buying a $10,000 ring for?
A nice bike, a Harley or
Oh.
something, or.
I thought you said a ring.
Oh fuck no, man! I've been engaged a couple times. They can keep the ring. See you later. Keep the TV.
Yeah,
Keep the car.
you're much better buying her a Harley that she's not interested in driving, so you can use it.
You can keep it in your name too.
Exactly.
They call that a meat grinder gift. You know, you buy the wife a meat grinder, and it's like, what am I going to do with this? You're going to make meat for me.
Hamburgers.
Yeah, the meat grinder gift.
Yeah. People give me a hard time because I buy my wife, like pots and pans and stuff for the kitchen. And they're like, why do you always buy her stuff for the kitchen? I said, I asked her what she wanted. That's what she told me. Well, you didn't get her nothing else? I said, she doesn't want nothing else. She tells me the truth. I don't need her. She don't have to lie. We don't have that kind of relationship where she tells me, oh, I don't want nothing, and then gets mad at me afterwards. It doesn't work like that with me. But it's funny how people get freaked out. They're like, oh my God, you didn't buy her a ring or nothing. I'm like, why would I need to? We've been together for 20 years. We love each other. We have everything we need, like we only buy each other stuff that we need for the house and things. That's the only thing we really need.
Well, congrats on 20.
It's been over 20 actually, but we've been married for 19 years now.
Congratulations, brother.
Thanks.
I feel you though. There's one girl I was dating. You don't have to buy me flowers all the time. Like, take me to dinner instead or something. The flowers die and blah blah blah.
Well, my attitude has always been whenever she'd give me gifts, I'd always say, you know what? You don't really have to get me a gift. I said, if you just do something for me, or if we sit, if we go somewhere and do something together that gives me memories, I said that's more valuable to me than all the gifts in the world, right? Because the gift is going to dwindle away to nothing, but that memory will be forever.
I was just thinking, really, like, so many girls complain their guys never get them flowers. It's only money. I can't take it with me. I take you to dinner anyways. Like, really, can't you just appreciate the beautiful flowers? I don't know.
So go pick some flowers.
Oh yeah, picking them is free. I'm just because I'm usually super fucking busy. I just stop at a stand and grab them, right?
That's selfish, isn't it?
And I have a friend that owns a stand that sells them, so in a way, I'm supporting them too. I don't know.
Okay.
You guys should sign up for my new endeavor. It's called Thoughtful. So it's an app that you download and I listen to your conversations 24 hours a day. And anytime my staff hears your woman say that she wants something, we order it, send it to her, and then we bill you.
Thanks, guys.
Well, they have refrigerators that do that now, dude. Although it doesn't keep track of when she needs her, things every.
Can we cap it? Like, can there be a limit on cost? Don't let her spend more than 5,000 or something. I don't know. At a time.
The best way to teach a woman how to be frugal is to give her charge of the money. And then after the second month, she's in charge. When there's no money, she realizes that the error in her ways, and she changes her. Well, if she doesn't, then obviously you have to take it back. But usually that's what you do. You give someone responsibility, and suddenly they see what responsibility is like, and they don't bitch so much. Just saying,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's funny that we're in a time we're in the times where people are afraid to answer a question like, what's a woman? It's pretty sad.
Yeah. I've just
Or
always
fear of
had,
being attacked by some group of whoever that, you know what I mean? Like, isn't that ridiculous?
yeah, I've just always had a ton of respect and revered women, and even though I've seen them disrespected a lot, and
I
you know,
agree.
I've seen my mother go through hell, it's made me the person I am now. I do not stand for any type of crap like that. I don't care if you're my neighbor and I know you or I don't. If I see your old lady or your woman with a mark on her or something, or she comes to me, trust me, you're going to be hearing from me. Because I know the cops don't do shit.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, if I see someone in the act of doing it, I'll definitely get involved.
Believe me, I do know that. Because, like I said, I lived it, right? I called one too many times, and then I decided it's time to take my own action. And my mother figured out what I was going to do next, and that was it. We moved 4,000 miles away. And
That's a mom that loves you.
she also saved that guy's life.
Sounds like she saved your life.
Well, that too, yes. My mother is amazing.
You know, losing your life isn't the worst thing that can happen to you.
My mother is amazing because she loves everybody equally. Like, she treats all my friends with the same respect, and always offering to feed them. She's definitely raised me with some good values.
I just might have to start another event today. What happened? Make you think too much?
Nope. This is the extended moment of silence for the globe.
Relax. No curve, no curve, no curve.
Doggone it.
You think the earth is round, cause that's what they told ya. From elementary school, you're trained to be a glober. Have you ever been out of space to see the curve? Or you just rely on NASA's every spoken word? Regurgitated theories, they be so absurd. All you globetards is just some creepy nerds. By any means, globe theories must die. We breaking down lies one at a time. Shout out to the marble spirit level guy. Planes do not dip their nose when they fly. I see the boat again, it came back in sight. Used a pair of binoculars, brought it back to life. The sun is not 93 million miles. No. Parallel sun rays through the clouds. Straight down. The Most High showeth his handiwork. When he made the firmament and earth. Earth is flat. Where's the curve? Earth is flat. Where's the curve? Tell him. Earth is flat. Where's the curve? Earth is flat. Where's the curve? Man, I'm telling you, Earth is flat. Where's the curve?
good. That's a good music video. I like it.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Orion is getting ready to launch. My name is Kelly Smith, and I work on navigation and guidance for Orion. Before we can send astronauts into space on Orion, we have to test all of its systems. And there's only one way to know if we got it right. Fly it in space. For Orion's first flight, no astronauts will be aboard. The spacecraft is loaded with sensors to record and measure all aspects of the flight in every detail. As the spacecraft and the upper stage begin their first lap around Earth, Mission Control in Houston is monitoring the progress of the flight. Orion's over 100 miles up and going about 17,000 miles per hour. Just as it passes over the Indian Ocean, we lose communication. This is expected. The communications link we have through satellites to Orion is momentarily lost. But Orion continues to receive and process data. Its computers can handle 480 million instructions per second. We are headed 3,600 miles above Earth, 15 times higher from the planet than the International Space Station. As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation. Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. Naturally, we have to pass through this danger zone twice, once up and once back. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
Here's Apollo 12 astronaut Alan Bean being interviewed about the Van Allen radiation belts.
Any ill effects from the Van Allen radiation belts?
No, now I'm not sure we went far enough out to encounter the Van Allen radiation belt. Maybe we did. I don't know the distance to the Van Allen radiation belt.
The belts are 1,000 miles to 25,000 miles above the Earth.
Then we went right out through them.
No effects on your cells?
We didn't even know it. I don't think anybody, well, maybe somebody said you went through the radiation belt, but we didn't feel it inside, and we didn't get any, added radiation. Not on our mission, by the way. They hadn't been discovered yet.
So you see, he wasn't even sure what the Van Allen belts were, and when he was told, he basically says that the radiation belts didn't apply to his mission because they hadn't been discovered yet.
Okay. Okay.
Well, maybe somebody said you went through the radiation belt, but we didn't feel it inside. Not on our mission, by the way. They hadn't been discovered yet.
The guy just said, maybe somebody said we just went through the Van Allen radiation belts, but how is that possible if they hadn't been discovered yet?
Well, maybe somebody said you went through the radiation belt, but we didn't feel it inside. Not on our mission, by the way. They hadn't been discovered yet.
We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
Not on our mission, by the way. They hadn't been discovered yet.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
ODD TV. Payday Monsanto. Let's get it, homie.
They live, we sleep. The alarm's going off, beep, beep. Time to wake up to the deceit. Our whole reality's made up by the elite. They live, we sleep. The alarm's going off, beep, beep. Time to wake up to the deceit. Our whole reality's made up by the elite.
They live, we sleep. The alarm's going off, beep, beep. Time to wake up to the deceit. Our whole reality's made up by the elite. They live, we sleep. The alarm's going off, beep, beep. Time to wake up to the deceit. Our whole reality's made up by the elite. I came here to kick some ass just like Roddy Piper. These motherfuckers that walk among us, they got me hyper. But don't be chewing that bubble gum, it's got aspartame. It's a chemical directly targeted at your brain, just like the fluoride that they put in the water supply and all the geoengineering we got in the sky. I'm trying to tell you, and I hope that you're hearing me clearly, this ain't no bullshit speculation conspiracy theory. They live and they're controlling every move you make, from the apartment that you live in to the juice you drink. They give you television to help you ignore this prison while feeding you genetically modified organisms. They want us like the Walking Dead, just obey and consume. Don't worry about anything, keep awaiting your doom. To all my warriors out there, this is indeed my call. It's time to put a fucking end to this elite cabal. They live, we sleep. The alarm's going off, beep, beep. Time to wake up to the deceit. Our whole reality's made up by the elite. They live, we sleep. The alarm's going off, beep, beep. Time to wake up to the deceit. Our whole reality's made up by the elite.
When they try to prove their spinning ball Earth, it's remarkable. All their arguments are absolutely fucking farcical. It's clearly been shown your problems aren't resolvable. Your theory has been blown into tiny little particles. The pharmacological drugs they got the masses on precludes them from putting their rowdy Roddy Piper glasses on. And even when they do, they're unable to gaze too straight, cause for most of them it's way too late for them to see past their conditioning. They will not be listening to anything outside their paradigm imprisonment. They are ensconced in a nonsensical certitude, brainwashed by devils to revel in their servitude. It's idiocracy, pure hypocrisy. Waking these dummies up, it used to mean a lot to me. But nowadays I wanna tip their canoes, and as they drown, tell them this is what you get when you snooze.
They live, we sleep. The alarm's going off, beep, beep. Time to wake up to the deceit. Our whole reality's made up by the elite. They live, we sleep. The alarm's going off, beep, beep. Time to wake up to the deceit. Our whole reality's made up by the elite.
Either put on these glasses or start eating that trash can.
and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
HMS Protector spends up to 330 days a year in the ice-packed seas of the South Atlantic and fulfills a unique support role. This ice patroller is equipped with 2 cranes capable of lifting up to 60 tons of supplies. With 4,741 horsepower and a uniquely shaped bow, Protector has the capacity to break through thick ice. Up to 65 personnel on board are given huge amounts of responsibility, rotating within a 330-day patrol. HMS Protector also provides support to the British Antarctic Survey, providing manpower and supplies to the 2 stations that secure a British presence in the area. The vessel arrived at Portsmouth Naval Base in May 2011, tasked with renewing the Royal Navy's ice patrol presence in the South Atlantic. But the Protector, which finally departed Teesside at the end of last week, is a ship far better suited to serving on the edge of the frozen wasteland.
The ice makes it impossible for ships to reach any of the bases for about 8 months of the year. We can only get through between November and March. That's summer down here. After that, the power of the ice is so great, even a modern ship would be crushed if it was trapped in it.
So I get a lot of people who say, well, why can't we just get on a boat and go to the ice wall and see everything for ourselves? Well, for one, you're going to run into a naval patrol vessel that looks like this right here, which is also an icebreaker all in one. Okay, now that you understand that, let's just say you can get past that bad boy. If you do, then you have about 5 or 6 foot of ice that's frozen on top of the ocean water that you have to break through. And you have to break through miles of that ice before you even get to the real ice wall, which, if I'm correct on this, is estimated to be at around 200 foot in height. So let's say if you can get past all the ice on the ocean and make it to the wall, then you have to find a way to get up the 200-foot wall, okay? Now, let's say you can get past all that. Then what you have is an ice desert full of mountains, about 300 miles of it in 150 degree below zero weather. That just goes on and on forever, filled with mountainy terrain and temperatures that are 150 degrees below zero. Now, if you can somehow make it past all that, you might find the firmament. Everyone, thanks for watching, and God bless.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
You're in a fight with somebody and you hurt them, the objective of the fight is not to back off and let them recoup. The objective is to smash into oblivion.
But the law says if you made a mistake, you rescind
Whose
them.
law said that? The law of the United States?
Yeah.
Or who controls the law of the United States?
Legislatures?
Yeah,
Supreme Court.
legislators that have their whole own agenda. Laws mean nothing. You give me the currency of a country and you can make all the rules in the world. And that's all that matters. Who's in control? That's all that matters. Who's in control? That's all that matters. Who's in control?
Do you know it fucking rains diamonds in certain planets like Jupiter and shit?
What?
It rains diamonds.
What is-
Show him. You believe that shit they tell you, right? If that shit tell you it's true, you believe it, right? If that machine, that shit that these geeks made tell you it's true, you'll believe it. I don't know if it's true, but those geek motherfuckers told me it was true. Imagine we live on a flat fucking world. All this time we thought we lived on a round planet, huh? We have no fucking evidence to believe that we're on a round planet, only by people telling us. But we really don't know who we are, where we came from, who the fuck is our purpose here.
I'm
huh?
not gonna go for
Say
that.
again?
You're not gonna tell me that on a round planet, though.
How do you know that? You never been out of space, nigga. Go ahead. What's I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I'm a 3rd grade, 4th grade dropout, and I know this shit.
And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Hello. You guys don't get happening, you're going to have to listen to my boring 5-part series about
Oh,
anger
shit.
resolution again.
We got Devil's Advocate in live stream. Only see verified.
Get them verified.
Mm-hmm. You want to check him out? Or?
Where'd everybody go?
Now, what you are looking at here are the logos of the 5 government agencies that control our so-called globe, our so-called spinning ball. Now, before we identify the logos, let's have a look at this map that hangs on my living room wall. And this map is the Gleason World Map from 1892, number 6 from the Boston Public Library. Okay, and as you can see here, it was published in the Buffalo Electrotype Engraving Company in New York. All right, and as you can see here, it's scientifically and practically correct as it is. Okay, now back to the logos. Here we have the International Maritime Organization, which basically controls our waterways, all of our waterways, how far out we could go into the ocean, territorial boundaries. Okay, so now let's have a deep look into their logo. Now, isn't it awful funny that the people who control how far we can go out in the water have a flat earth map with an ice wall as their logo? Okay, anyways, here we go. The International Civil Aviation Organization. Now, this is the government agency that controls our airways, how far we can fly and where we can fly. And once you fly out too far south, they're going to turn you around. But anyways, let's check out. Okay, as you can see here, hidden in their logo, the agency that controls our airways has the flat earth map with the ice wall around it, hidden right in it. Okay, now here we have the World Meteorological Organization, which basically they control all the mainstream media information we get about storms, hurricanes, and all that good stuff. So, anyways, let's check out what's hidden in their logo. The flat earth map. Okay, now here we have the World Health Organization. Now this organization controls all the mainstream media news that we hear about, like COVID-19, Ebola, or any other kind of pandemics going on in the world. But let's have a look at what's hidden in their logo. And as you can see here, the flat Earth map with the ice wall around it. Okay, now last but not least, we have the United Nations, which basically control everything, control all the militaries in the world, all of the treaties that are signed in the world. These people control this. And I think it's awful funny that if you look in their flag, they have the flat Earth map. To their General Assembly Hall where they hold all their meetings and sign all their treaties, guess what's on the wall right up above them? The flat Earth map. Now this all could be just coincidence, but I don't think so. If you look at any map before 1958, it shows a flat Earth with an ice wall around it. And all the government agencies that control our airways and our waterways have the flat Earth map with the ice wall in their logo. Okay? Now, if you were to try to get in a private plane or on a private boat and try to get too far south to try to find this ice wall, here's what's going to happen. The Navy's going to show up in a battleship or a jet fighter and turn you around and escort you out of the area. Now, let's watch and see what happens when a private boat or a private jet gets too far south. Keeping in mind that that means 80 degrees north of the equator. You go past that, you're in maritime waters, and here's what happens.
Hey, just a Navy destroyer. He will yield. He'd be thinking, that cheeky better not cross my bow. Yeah. Stop, Josh. They take it seriously. What did they say? You got to yield. You can't just fucking. They think you're going to charge them. We don't know for sure, but they did say something. No, they did. They thought. Say come back last call. Yeah, fucking talk to them. Actually going around. He's turning. Stop. He's turning. He is actually turning. He's going to be on the ship yesterday. No, he is turning. Fucking hell, what have we done now? It's turning, Josh, just sit still. He's slowed down, has he? Yeah, he's really slowed down. No, don't we're in trouble. What for? It's coming to us. It is coming to us. He's got the shits because... This is Warship Hobart, channel 16, over. 16. Yeah, got you, mate. It's bad boys. Did he come back? Gotta get channel 16. No. Hobart, you are in a maritime exclusion area. Please report your intention. Oh, who the fuck's that? We're heading to the shelf to go. No, just say we're out fishing. Heading out fishing. No, we're just heading out fishing. Get the dinghies out, boys. They get going that way. We're just traversing. Is there a helicopter coming at us now? Are we allowed? I don't know. What just travel. Just go. Just go. You sent out the chopper. That's a drone. Is it? No. That's unreal. Oh my God.
We set up a demo today with this Cessna and the Air National Guard. I'm going to be inside of this Cessna and we're going to be going rogue. We're going to fly into that no-fly zone, and we're going to see how the Air National Guard does it. They scramble the fighter jets that come right.
Take off. We're off.
Flying for miles and miles until...
Okay, we've just entered the no-fly zone now.
Our pilots aren't talking to air traffic control, ignoring their calls to reach them. That triggers an alarm at the Air National Guard base. These fighter pilots scrambling to their jets. They're on alert and ready to take action 24 hours a day. Today, racing to their F-16s, suiting up, climbing on board, and rushing to the runway. Taking off to intercept our rogue Cessna, reaching the target in just minutes. This is the view from the F-16. That's my Cessna right there.
Intimidating as you would think it would be. Look at that fighter jet. He's right off our wing.
Another F-16 swooping in on the right, calling us on aviation frequencies.
You have been intercepted. If you hear this transmission, acknowledge the radio call and rock your wing. He wants us to identify ourselves. We're a rogue aircraft, remember, for this demonstration, so we're not going to respond at all and see what this fighter jet is. Ordered to turn to the northwest.
The fighter jet giving us one last warning. After all of this, the pilot still won't listen. The plane won't leave the airspace. Will you shoot them down?
If required, we'll execute the rules of engagement per the commander of the North American Aerospace Defense Command. And yes, we would do that.
Shoot the plane down?
If it meets the rules of engagement, yes, we would, to defend the airspace.
Entering restricted airspace. You are ordered to turn west immediately. If you do not follow these instructions, you may be fired upon.
Now, just in case you're not awake yet, the reason these government agencies have the flat earth in their logo is because they know where we live. And they get paid to protect that edge if you ever try to go there. Thanks for watching, and God bless.
That's a good one. I want to be able to watch that one.
It's posted in the voice text.